All right, is that better? Ugh, Jesus Christ. Still sound like crap? Yes, Fanon, what's happening? We're watching OG Boxing Talk. What's good? All right, so y'all hear me yet? Okay, cool. We can hear you. That's what's up. All right, man. I was about to say, man, that's bananas. All right, cool. All right, there we go. So let's start all of this all over again. Let me see how many people we got in the building. It's going to be, hey, we got 53 people in the building. Let's keep the likes towards 53. Support the channel. Support the channel. I like that, man. I've been listening to a lot of Blue Blood Sports TV. So sometimes you just gotta bite. Sometimes you bite what people do. So you just can't help it. So anyway, man, what's good with everybody? We're having a very OG-ish morning, as in none of the OGs have shown up to the show this morning. I started 5 minutes late thinking these old ass geezers were gonna get out of the bed and get on the show. But no, it's just me, all K solo. So we'll just go through the show. I'm sure they'll show up. I'm sure they'll show up a little bit. It's been a really busy week. Main Event Mark says, salute fam. Gonna bring y'all on the lawnmower in a bit. Yeah, man, hey, don't run over nothing. Aaron Parker, what's going on with you, man? JC in the building. What's happening with you? Land of the 216. Salute to you, sir. Harold Jones, good morning to you and to the rest of the mighty LDBC. Blessings up without a doubt. Thrill Hill in the morning. What's good with you, man? PAGN said, I want Wilder to knock Fury's brains out. And then everybody says I'm on mute and white noise. Yeah, cooking bacon. You motherfuckers are some clowns, huh? Ha, 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 ha. Michael Davis said, great OG boxing talk last week. Is everybody coming back on this week again? I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see who shows fuck up. You know, KQK, see, I should talk shit about all the OGs. Matter of fact, that's what I'll do. Talk shit about all the OGs. KQKC has got his nose in some coochie. That's what he's been doing over the last couple of weeks. Been real erratic. Been real erratic over the last couple of weeks on Sunday mornings. Yeah, what's going on? Time to ante up. What's going on, man? But look, we're gonna start the show. It don't matter. You got one OG. That's what we got. That's what we got today. Much love in that super chat. Time to ante up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you very much. I know I really sound sick, but what does LDBC stand for? As I'm German and I don't know. It is Lions Den Boxing Community. Lions Den Boxing Community. It's a community of boxing fans. We have boxing channels, and we have a lot of people in the LDBC that are just that, not just, but come by and watch videos and support the community. It's Lions Den Boxing. It's Lions Den Boxing Community. Man, what's good, man? We got Cali Enigma. What's good with you, man?
What's happening, man?
Shit, just wonder where all these OGs were this weekend. They must have got held up. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing straight, man. Everything's 100, man. Just chilling, reading, trying to learn, trying to expand my knowledge. As there's a lot that I don't know. There's stuff I know, and there's a lot more that I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to do: fill my brain with new knowledge. Always trying to expand what I know, and always discovering new stuff. So even at the age, the old age of 42, I'm still learning. That's my goal in life, to learn until the day I'm no longer breathing. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and just chopped it up with Larry Wade on Friday night. So got to cut that up. Interview with Larry Wade, Sean Porter, strength and conditioning coach. He's also Killer Plant, Luis King Ortiz's strength and conditioning coach, as well as Jared Badu Jack.
What's good? D-Style Boxing said, I'm never up at this time. If I wasn't leaving a chick's house before she wakes up, I'd still be in bed. Yeah, that shit's hilarious, dude. Yeah, that's what it is. Some of y'all, got to get out there, and run them streets on Saturday night. Yeah, man. So hey, let's chop it up, man. Let's chop it up. There's a bunch of stuff that has happened this week in boxing. I mean, I'm sure different topics will come up as OGs roll their old asses up in here. Bronner, what's going on? Shanula Farmer says, salute to the great Muhammad Ali. He never betrayed the people. He was a great boxer and a great human being. Yes, he was, man. Salute to the great Muhammad Ali. But look, there's a question that came in here, man, that I thought was a really good question. And that is from Crunchy Black Jr. Said, how did you all first connect with the LDBC? Callie, how did you first connect with the LDBC?
I had heard a little bit about the LDBC. Right, like I would probably say about 5-6 months before I joined. I joined back in like 2017, 2018, back then. So yeah, I joined back then, but I heard about it beforehand. But Santee Walton is the one who brought me in. I was a regular commentator inside of 7A Sports TV's live streams. I donated to a channel and stuff, and I started making content actually at the end of 2017. But before I was making content, going back to 2006, I've been on YouTube forever. But I wasn't really doing boxing, but I would go to boxing videos and then get called the N-word 4,000 times. Monkeys, gorillas, and all kind of stuff like that too. So I tended to get away from just commenting on boxing YouTube videos because of all the nasty racism that would pop up on it. But yeah, Santee Walton is the one who brought me in. But 7A Sports TV started to promote my channel a little bit way before I actually joined the LDBC. My first subscriber, I should say my second subscriber was MBT Boxing. He was my second subscriber, and he encouraged me as well.
MBT Boxing is a great dude. MBT Boxing is a great dude.
Really good dude. Yeah, he encouraged me to start doing more content as well. So yeah, it's been a while now, man. I would say I've been doing content it'll be 3 years at the end of the year. So 3 years that I've been doing content. So yeah, man, it was Santee Walton. Santee Walton is the one who brought me in. Santee told me that he spoke with 7-8 and some of the other brothers, and they agreed to bring me in. And of course, I was also listening to Town, and I was also listening to Fanon as well. Fanon, back in the days when you would see Fanon's face, he would just, pumping out boxing videos. He had great editing even back then. I love Fanon's videos. I love those. Back when he had the original theme music and stuff like that coming in, and that intro, that shit was dope. You should bring that back, man.
I think videos. I might bring that back because Cassie said that shit was there. You know about that Ali, the jumping rope, Ali jumping rope?
Yeah, bring that back.
On the Method Man. Yeah, that shit. That was crazy, man.
Bring that back.
Hey, what's going on? Fahim Sator in that super chat. Much love, man. He said verbal sorcerers matter. Yes, sir, they do. Go ahead, Callie. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you should definitely bring that back. So, and of course, Blood Boxing, he was pumping out, retro videos and breaking down boxing as well. And of course, Coach Shelton Harris, and Ticket TV. I remember Ticket TV. I knew Ticket TV more from basketball than anything else. And then there was those other brothers out there as well that I was following around and paying attention to them, putting in work. So I remember the funny days of Dante's Boxing Nation with another channel. I was messing with Boxing Ego as well, and I remember the Pacquiao Floyd days back when I was getting called Flow Mo on a regular basis as well. So I've been around for all the garbage, and of course some of the evolution of boxing on YouTube. Now it's a million, boxing creators, boxing content creators now. When it wasn't that many back then. So boxing has definitely evolved, but we'll see where it goes in the future. But the LDBC has definitely evolved ourselves. I think we've matured more today than where we were back then. I'm talking about we've grown to be more than just boxing. We're growing into an actual family, and I like that.
Yeah, see, I think I started doing. It's funny, man. The LDBC I knew about as soon as it started, before it started, because I was listening to Blood Boxing I think I started listening to boxing videos on YouTube right around the time of Manny Pacquiao, like maybe Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez 2 and 3. Somewhere around that time frame, I was on boxing, looking at boxing videos. Before that,
YTBC, right?
yeah, I mean, no, I didn't think of it as the YTBC. I just thought about it as just videos. Because before there was anything called the YouTube boxing community, there were just people who were putting videos out, but eventually once there became enough people, like a critical mass of people that were doing it, they started referring to themselves as the YouTube boxing community, so, and that would be people that liked each other, didn't like each other. It was just a catch-all phrase for anybody that was putting out videos and regularly watching videos on YouTube. But before that, there were, and actually that was kind of like, MBT is back just under a different name. Yeah, man, that's the dude. MBT is the dude. And MBT, the reason I like MBT, man, is like NBT and D-Style Boxing have something real unique about them dudes. Like, they can disagree with what you say, but they don't make that shit anything fucking personal, and they just going about their business, thinking about, agreeing, they have what their opinions are, and your opinion could be like radically different from theirs, or even be a controversial decision. And they just will either agree with you or not agree with you and fucking keep it pushing. You know what I mean? And you'll wind up having a good conversation with them about way more things than you would have, differences of opinion. But those type of people like D-Style Boxing, guys like NBT Boxing, they are, there's a good number of them, but then there's so many of the other type of motherfuckers, man. Like, I won't say their names, but it's just, even before there was the YouTube, there was the chat groups, on different boxing websites, because before there were boxing websites, everybody would go to different boxing websites and you would see people's names across the boxing websites. The YBT, the YouTube boxing community, was really, the way that I saw it develop was that the same people that were in those groups, in the chat groups, saying all kind of vile shit, eventually migrated onto YouTube. They're still there in some of those chat groups, some of those boxing scene forums and stuff like that. They're still out there in some of those forums, but they are all they all eventually gravitated towards YouTube, and it became the YouTube boxing community. And then after that, because it's just so fucking toxic to be a black boxing fan. I mean, it's really fucking, it's like the shit that you see people doing to people. I mean, this is no different than what was happening in the chat line, in the chat groups. You go to the chat group, you could be a supporter of Floyd Mayweather Jr. over Manny Pacquiao, and you'd be every kind of ape, monkey, it was a regular thing to have conversations in those boxing chat groups where, you'd have straight up white supremacy conversations. Like, how many, white people control the world type shit. They would say, like, our ancestors were monkeys, and, really the Egyptians were white, all that type of shit, you'd have in boxing forums with those type of motherfuckers. So eventually I was like, man, I can't continue to fucking talk. I can't talk to these type of people, because it ruins your fucking experience. It can ruin the boxing experience. I do believe that boxing would be a much more popular sport without people like that. Because
did you ever come across some of the people that this was about 7-8 years ago, and they were saying that, so the reason that Floyd Mayweather became such a good boxer is because he used to swing from tree to tree. I was like, wow, bro. I'm just amazed at some of the shit I used to see on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, this shit is bananas. So I moved over from there. So I was like, fuck that. Why do I want to listen to anybody that is gonna, first, I don't even want to be any fucking where those type of people are, because it'll ruin the fucking sport for you. It'll make you not want to comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the amount of harassment you would get if it was a fight, if like for a Floyd Mayweather Jr. or a prominent black fighter that was, shit like, man, dude, I couldn't imagine being in there with Deontay Wilder as a heavyweight. That shit would have been fucking crazy. Talking anyway. So I want to talk boxing. So I think first channel that I really listened to. Oh, that's what's up, Retro. The first Blood. The first motherfucker that I listened to was Blood Boxing. Because Blood Boxing and another dude who used to go by the name of like Straight Left or something like that, or Check Hook, something like that. But anyway, a real funny dude, man. Dude was hilarious. He hasn't done video in years. Like, he probably hasn't done them since that point in time. But it was really fun listening to him talk about the Manny Pacquiao fight, because it was like somebody, you know, that had the same viewpoint as me, but where you wouldn't get that in the media. Before there was this, you just had to listen to what the media was saying, and you may have a conversation with like 1 or 2 or 3 people. But now you can listen to what the media says and have conversations with 90,000, 100,000 people will hear what you have to say. So, I mean, it's just been, but I got with the LDBC before, to answer the question, I'm sorry. I got with the LDBC like from the time it started, like before it started, but I didn't tell anybody, like anybody in the LDBC, because I think I would just listen to the videos. I would leave. What's going on, BFTB? You got a link too. I got so I would just listen. But eventually I was like, man, I want to make videos. So I started making videos, but I started making highlight videos, like not videos like where I would talk about boxing, more like a highlight reel channel. So I would do the clips and the editing for the highlight reels. But YouTube doesn't make it possible to do that shit. And because you would wind up getting a copyright strike unless you edited that shit just fucking perfectly.
Can you put those on Patreon? Do some more of those and put it on Patreon?
Yeah, I can definitely do them. I fucking love doing them shits. Yeah.
You can do some of those, put it on Patreon, man. That'll be cool as fuck. Well, you know, I'm a Patreon subscriber. You say, yeah, if you.
That's like an order from you. So yeah, I'll definitely do those, man. I love putting highlight reels and all that shit. Yeah, I put highlight reels together, but it's just so tough to do it on. It's just really tough to do it on YouTube because of the copyright violations and all that stuff. So, but anyway, man. So I got to like, I was like, all right, I have to do the talking, because that's the only thing where be no copyright violation if it's just me, you know? So I was like, fuck it. And I just changed directions of the channel and then started doing the, you know, talking, you know, over the, you know, with the screen up or whatever. But anyway, I waited until I got to like 10,000 subscribers before I started saying that I was with the LDBC, because I didn't want to come into a group, you know, like I wanted to bring something to the table. So I always knew that I was gonna, like, those are the channels that I'd always supported. And a lot of people have known me on boxing for a long time, you know, but they don't, kind of like, people might not know who Bert from Mardikin is personally, but you see him all the time. That's how I was in the LDBC. But people don't realize that the dude that you thought I was disappeared. It just became, you know, for 9 International Boxing. But I've been a subscriber like D-Style for years, like years and years and years. I've been listening to D-Style. I'm listening to 78 for multiple channels now, like 78, like 3 channels, like, you know, through the time. I've listening to Blood since, I mean, dude, I'd be pissed off when Blood would just not make videos. That's why I'm like, I really wish y'all would not fuck with Blood, because if Blood fucking decides not to talk about boxing, then his fucking videos go, and his shit is the shit. You know what I mean? His shit is the shit. It's been the shit. Been the shit. Y'all been the shit. You know, fuck like all the subscriber talk and all that. His shit has been the shit. You know what I mean? Been the shit for decades. So anyway, man. So yeah, that's how I got down with the LDBC. As far as like officially like knowing anybody, I met Black Fight Fan. Shortly before I started putting everything in the LDBC, because Black Fight Fan is the type of nigga to call you out, you know. So Black Fight Fan was out there getting in niggas' chests, talking about y'all ain't showing your faces. And what else he say? He was like, y'all ain't showing your faces. I don't trust motherfuckers that ain't showing their faces. And he said, oh yeah, and people are half in and half out of the LDBC. So I was like, all right, well, fuck. I can't be half in and half out. So chips are all in. and I'll show my face. You're right. I'm hiding behind the camera. You motherfuckers think I'm some fat nerd. Nigga, I'm fat, but I ain't no motherfucking nerd. Okay, so, and I get more coochie than you. So I was like, shit, I ain't hard on the eyes. I'll put my face on here. Fuck it, whatever. And then after that, we just started having fun. Started fucking around with cats like BFTB. You know, once I got to a certain, you know, number, maybe like 20,000 subscribers or something like that, I was like, okay, I know I can get other people's subscribers. And see, that's when I started fucking around, like really fucking around with the LDBC. Like, let me make a couple big ass channels, you know what I mean? Like a couple other, like strengthen the pot and start adding stuff to the LDBC, you know? And that's going really good. And sometimes it's gone not so good. Sometimes I made some fucking mistakes fucking with some people I should have never fucked with. And then other times there's people like KQKC and BFTB that you bring in, and they wind up being really, you know, excellent members of the community. But to answer the first question is, you know, what is the LDBC? It's a community. There's some operational aspects of it, and that's all 78 because he founded it. So whatever like official you know, structure there is to it is his. But it consists of the people that independent operators that make their own YouTube channels, that make their own content, and then a large group of subscribers that consume the content. So it's 78 that is structured it. And then there's the independent content creators. And then there is the group of people who are the consumers of the content that the creators create. And it's a loose affiliation. And then you have people that are not within the LDBC, but are just you know, very closely associated, like where you get new media. When you get new media, like new media is like that. You have, Blue Blood is in the LDBC. Fred is Fred is like de facto LDBC, but then Boxing Ego is not, and Dante's Boxing Nation is not, and Aki is not, and then Champs Side Boxing is not, but they do fucking very excellent work. All of those guys do excellent work, and they have many of their subscribers are people who are also in the LDBC. So that kind of explains what it is. What we are not is some rabid group of black people that just fucking have just no structure whatsoever, and they're just talking shit about a boxer, you know? They just hate Tyson Fury. There's a lot of people in the LDBC that don't fuck with Glovegate. You know what I mean? They don't, lots, okay? A lot don't. Not just some, a lot don't. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll be less vocal or more vocal, or they'll be like more supportive of the community and just be kind of silent on it or whatever. But, you know, those opinions vary greatly. And that's why you can't fuck with the LDBC, because we have consumers. We have a group of people that consume our content on an hourly basis, not even on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. They consume our content. And we know exactly who it is that is consuming our content. I know exactly who it is that is consuming my content. I know where they are. I know what they like to talk about. So fuck you. I don't need you. The fuck I need you for? I already know who they are. They're right there. Them. That's why you can't really fuck with shit like that. Because of the structure. We're smarter than you bitches. That's what it is. That's why you can't fuck with people like that. You can't just mow over motherfuckers. How the fuck you gonna mow over a group that you ain't even in? Sad son of a bitches.
But you know what's sad about it? Was like we're not just touching on boxing. We're going into such a broad spectrum of things that it's like they can't even fathom some of the moves that we've been making. It's like we're not even playing in the same game anymore. You guys, they're still doing little puny or teenage boxing arguments from like 2015. I mean, not 20, excuse me. Puny, even 20 years ago, because there was boxing websites and stuff. They're doing stuff back in, what is it, GeoCities. They're still doing the GeoCities arguments online and stuff like that. Meanwhile, we're sitting here transferring and working on trying to fix credit, build wealth within our community, change the education in our community, as well as discussing boxing and trying to convince other Black people to start their own business. We have a far broad spectrum of thinking, and we're just so expanded that they can't even imagine being on the level that we're at right now.
Time to Annie up said your phrase just now, I get more coochie than you. Is a t-shirt waiting to happen. Back to beef, bacon, eggs, and hash browns. Damn, that shit sounds good as shit. Drew, I didn't send you a link, my bad. Oh my God, man. Oh shit, how did I not send Drew Titan a link?
You know what should be just a subject today too? So it come up because people are asking questions on Twitter. Is about the Zone, and the Zone had who dropped Michael Hunter, who just dropped Michael Hunter the other day. So I think that should be a discussion. I think the Zone is getting ready to leave the United States.
Hey, hold on, man. Man, Callie, I love you to death, dog. Nigga, let's send that in ahead of time so we can put that shit on the list, because I got a specific list of shit to talk about. And that's that shit's taking shit sideways. However, what do you think about that? Let me send this link to Drew Titan, man. What's your opinion on that? Do you want to get a comment?
Well, to be honest with you, I love it. After just some British dude said that, because I guess, Zerto Gilberto Ramirez, he cut him, and Bob M agreed to part ways, because I guess Top Rank is already cut some of the quote unquote fat themselves, and they said we should sign with Eddie Hearn. I was like, no, PBC is still where it's at. I see Zerto going to PBC. The Zone doesn't have any money to pick up any extra fighters. They're trying to cut fighters. And I heard they're getting ready to cut some of the women fighters as well. So I think that you could probably see Tevin Farmer will probably be one of the next ones up and gone. They're going to be continue to cut the roster. And if that doesn't help them with their expenses, they're eventually just going to fold up and leave the United States of America. And that's what I think is going to happen, because I think that Triple G and Canelo Alvarez eat up too much revenue. And they can't afford to even take care of them. They're looking for this investment, but I don't think the Eddie Hearn fight outside in Tulsa, Oklahoma is going to work. Who's going to? I don't think anybody can beat that fight.
Callie, you just took the conversation like a mile left, because we're still in the middle of the conversation about the LDBC.
I know, you just tell me what did I think about that. So I just read. Yeah, I just went what you just said. You said, "What do you think about that?" When we were talking about the Zone. So that's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah,
touche. So is that it?
No, I love it. I want to see Eddie Hearn fail. I don't like the dude. I'm an admitted hater of Eddie Hearn. I'm a hater. I want to see dude fail, get up out of the States. That's what I want to see.
Oh, that shit would be hilarious, dude. But honestly, man, I don't even think Eddie Hearn is I don't even think he's the bad dude. These motherfuckers over there, these fucking Tyson Fury people makes Eddie Hearn look like a fucking saint. Like
they do.
Hey, but Drew Titan in the building, man. I'm sorry, I thought I sent you the link. Matter of fact, you clicked the link, so you must have already had the link
just now. I just got the link just now.
All right, my bad, man. Sorry about that,
brother. It's all right.
What's good with you, man? Get into the LDBC.
Say again.
We're having an LDBC conversation. This is where we are in the conversation. I just explained to people what the LDBC is. I gave them a general operational breakdown, which some of these dummies probably still don't get. However, then people said, how did you first get introduced into the LDBC? That was a question that began the show. So that question is to you then.
Well, I personally have been around YouTube for the better part of 10 years, but I was quiet. I actually have another account, and when I first got in, I was just on YouTube, and I was just always looking at boxing, because a lot of people just started posting old fights, and I came across a channel, a brother named Blood Boxing.
Great.
And I was like, wow, this brother, he knows his shit. He really knows his shit. He would give fight predictions, and he would talk about my favorite era, like the late 70s and the 80s and the 90s. So I never really like paid attention to like subbing or nothing like that. I would just go on YouTube and just find them. And like when you look at something enough, YouTube, the engine will just start throwing their videos at you. You know what I mean? So I would watch him. I'm like, yeah, this brother knows what he's talking about. And through him, I found like a slew of other channels, Ashy Knuckles, and later on, Dante popped up and Ego popped up, and and then another channel popped up by the name of 78 Fight News. So and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, this is dope, So then I found out, there was a little button that says subscribe, so I ain't have to, just go around just looking for the videos. So I said, oh, okay, subscribe. So I sub, and I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm listening to the videos. So then I would scroll down. I'm like, oh, you can leave a comment. Okay, so whether I agree with the brothers or not on the outcome of fights, I'd keep it respectful. Like, yeah, I disagree. Da 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 da. What I noticed was when a lot of times when I would scroll down, when I started to read the other comments, on average, 3 comments down, there's somebody in the chat not only calling the person who owns the channel out of their name, but they would be calling you out your name over your opinion. Now, I was still fairly new to the social media thing. I'm like, yo, how dare he? This motherfucker don't know me. But here's what I noticed. Here's the main thing that I noticed. Whenever it was when there was a discussion about a black fighter, on average, when you scroll down, some clown be on there calling not only the person who owns the channel a nigger, but if you agreed with them about the outcome of a fight or the prediction, and the fighter was black, they're calling you a nigger. Now, here's the funny shit. I didn't have my picture attached to my account, my old account. So I'm like, how the fuck do they even know my ethnicity? What the fuck is this? What is that? Whatever. So then I found all these other channels. There was like hundreds of boxing channels, and I would go listen to everybody. Some I agreed with. The others I was able to tell in 2 seconds, okay, here casual, and this is more of a reaction video. And then the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fiasco happened, and then the YouTube went on fire, and people were picking sides, and I didn't know Filipinos could be that racist. Now, mind you, this is still my old account. And on average, you scroll down and you say, oh, well, I think Floyd Mayweather's gonna beat whatever Mexican he was gonna fight. Oh, you fucking nigga. Oh, you just a nigga. And then I'm like, wow, how do you know my ethnicity? Oh, because your opinion, it makes you a nigga, and nigga. Filipino, same thing. Oh, well, I think Floyd will outbox Manny for 10 rounds. I mean, for 12 rounds. Manny might get 2 rounds, but Floyd's too smart. Da 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 da. Oh, you just a nigga. Oh, you fucking nigga. I'm like, holy shit. I did not know these motherfuckers is this racist. This is what this is? And I'm talking about hundreds of channels. I go to Blood's channel. All Blood would say is, well, Floyd is nice for this era, but to say that he beat Ray Robertson or all these other Tommy Hearns, I think you guys need to pump your brakes. Next thing you know, he's getting attacked. He's getting attacked by what we were calling the Flomos, because they're just mad. They were just unconditionally defending Floyd unconditionally. Now they went from loving Blood to calling him all kinds of coons. And we all know how the brother Blood gets. Now he's in defense mode, like, well, you know what? Fuck Floyd then. So he's getting attacked from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I watched this thing unravel. It was crazy. So I still just remained behind the scenes, and I just stopped commenting. Right? So 78 makes his new channel, 78 Sports TV. And then I just started narrowing down my my options. I started to get the hang of this thing. I started to realize, who was real and who wasn't. I had to unsub to a lot of people. I was subbed to a couple of UK guys. And then when they showed their ass, I said, all right, I got to unsub. And I was there for everything. Believe me, I was just quiet. I was there for everything. And I remember when 78 did the video, he said, you know what? We can't go anywhere on anyone's channel and just talk boxing. This sounds familiar? We can't go anywhere in the what was called the YTBC, YouTube Boxing Committee. We can't go anywhere and just talk boxing without somebody violating us. We talk boxing, they're calling us a nigga. We talk boxing, they're talking about our mama. We talk boxing, they talk about black on black crime. They did that shit. We ain't do that shit. They did that shit. So we packed our shit and left. And 78 said, you know what? I'm starting this thing called the LDBC. And he made it a safe place for people who want to talk boxing. Now listen to what I'm saying. He made it a safe place for people who wanted to talk boxing. You notice I didn't say black people. I said people who wanted to talk boxing, the Lions Den boxing community. Now, one of the things that so happened to have happened was that a majority of us are black. Because guess what was happening? What I just said, we go into all these channels trying to talk boxing and we're getting called out our name. So I said, you know what? Let me start a new channel. I'm going to put my face on it so people could see my ethnicity. And that's when I started this channel that I have now. That's when I started it. And I started doing content because enough was enough with Eddie Hearn and his nonsense. That's when I started doing content. You know what I mean? My thing was I wanted Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao to retire so boxing can go back to normal, because that shit was ridiculous. It took boxing all the way left and I didn't like it. I started making content and it's grown since then. And what do you think happened when we started doing it? Fanon, I remember when you was just doing videos before you showed your face. First video, I subscribed. I said, this brother knows what he's talking about. I found Cali. I found Junior. I realized I subscribed to Mike Biggs Boxing and I'm listening to the voice. I'm like, hold on a minute. And I said, yo, that's my man Mike. I know Mike since 6th grade. I didn't even know that was him. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just insane. So then I found all of the brothers. And I felt safe. I felt comfortable. I can go to y'all chats and talk boxing. I can talk politics. I can talk kung fu movies. I can talk everything. And no sooner than we pack our shit and leave, what the fuck do you think happens? The same motherfuckers we left come over to our channels and troll us. They don't want to have a conversation. They troll us. Sounds like Black Wall Street to me. Slavery is abolished. Get off our plantation, niggas. We don't need you. You're just gonna go in the fucking jungle and get lost and have to come back home anyway. A couple of years later, they're like, yo, this field work is hard. I wish I had my slaves. What are those niggas doing? They get in the car, drive 40 miles, and they see a Black Wall Street. They're like, yo, they're prospering. No, we can't have this. We got to burn this shit down. Jealousy. Envy. Y'all a bunch of fucking bitches for that, man. I don't go anywhere. I went to so many channels, and here's the kicker. You scroll down, right? You leave an opinion. This is before live streams. This is before Google Hangouts. You scroll down, leave an opinion about the outcome of a fight. You're not calling anybody out their name. You go back to that channel, you'll have like on average 10 people calling you out your name. They don't even know your ethnicity. They're calling you out your name. And then when you respond and call them out their name, the person who owns the channel, this happened to me several times. The person who owns the channel will tell you to chill. Don't use that language. Don't call anybody out their name. I said, you didn't read those 40 comments, them dumping on me. Oh, okay. It's because you're siding with Marquez or you're siding with Manny Pacquiao because I'm like one of two people, one of like 10, like just no, like one of 2 or 3 people who think the fight is going to go in another direction. And it's okay for them to call me out my name. So you're telling me to chill. You're not telling them to chill? Okay, cool. Unsub. I just came there to talk boxing. Everybody else talking about everything else. So there, I know who the fuck you are. So the LDBC became a safe place for us to have a discussion about the fucking sport we love. And when we do that, how the fuck we generated so many trolls? I'll tell you how. Because, Fanon, in my opinion, your channel seemingly came out of nowhere. Look at your following. There's motherfuckers trolling you right now that have been on YouTube for 10 years. Go look at their subs. 200, 250. Yep. And here you come with an educated opinion. Not only can you articulate your point, but you could defend it to a T. And you disarm them. You disarm all of their arguments. And when you do that, what are they left with? Oh, yeah, you're a nigga. Oh, you're a pedophile. Get the fuck out of here. I thought we were talking about boxing. So when you talk boxing and you cross-check them on everything, what are they left with? These motherfuckers are grown adolescents, man. They're grown adolescents. I don't go anywhere where I'm not wanted. In the 80s, I did not walk through Bensonhurst. I don't care how good the food smelled. I did not take my ass to Bensonhurst. Fuck them. I didn't go through Chinatown. Fuck them. I don't go anywhere where I'm not wanted. I'm going to stay where the fuck I feel safe. I'm going to walk through neighborhoods where I feel safe. Get the fuck out of here. We're talking about boxing. If you can disagree with us and have you see, this is crazy. They talk about, oh, boxing's a gentleman's sport. Why is Deontay, I'm using this as an example. Why is Deontay Wilder saying he wants to kill somebody in the ring? Boxing's a gentleman's sport. Well, having an adult conversation, isn't that gentlemanly? So why the fuck are you coming over here, you know, in the chat talking about, oh, why is Wilder twerking? He's twerking for your mama. You need to ask your mama that. Why the fuck she got that video on loop? You hoe ass nigga. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you here? Why are you here? I don't jump on these motherfucking streams. There's so many channels I unsub to because y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. You show your fucking hand. You show your fucking hand. And guess what? If you were saying anything of substance, you'd have a bigger audience. How the fuck Fanon, his channel is what, about 4 years old? Less than that, probably. Got so many subs, so many people that follow him on Twitter, on YouTube. And y'all hating ass only got 250 fucking subs, talking shit behind the scenes. And you've been on YouTube longer than him. Get the fuck out of here. This is what we deal with. There's a bunch of failures coming over here. Their plantations aren't working. And they're like, yo, where my audience went? I thought if I hated on Mayweather, I thought if I hated on Wilder, if I hated on this specific fighter, what's going on over there? Oh, I know. I'm going to grow my fan base because I'm going to hate on a motherfucker that's successful. You dudes are cut from a bitch cloth. I didn't get on YouTube for the subs. I got on YouTube because I felt safe and I supported this cause. I admired what 78 did and I supported 100%. And if you look around him, you look at this LDBC, they done called us racist. They done called us all kinds of rapists now and pedophilia and all this other shit. All you do is grow our fan base. That's all you do. Because what happens is people say, what the fuck is that? There's still people don't know what the fuck the LDBC is. They say, what is that? And all they got to do is go to any channel and say, yo, that's not it. That's not it. Wait a minute. I like what this person's talking about. What are you talking about? Thanks, you motherfucker. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the subs. Now, here's my question. How did that grow your channel? How'd that grow your channel? Listen, man, if you're trying to do YouTube for a living, go do something else. Go do something else because you're failing. You're failing. What the fuck? What is this? What does this even mean? You trying to put someone's dick in the dirt? You're not even talking about boxing, stupid. Motherfuckers is trying to do shit. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all know everybody in the chat got something wrong with them. Everybody in the chat got something wrong with them. And if you dig deep enough, you'll find some shit that you don't want to get out. But here's the thing. A lot of y'all motherfuckers, and I'm talking to the haters, a lot of y'all motherfuckers can't explain y'all shit. So what y'all might want to do is leave shit alone. Don't make it ugly, man. Do not make it ugly. Because what happened last week is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. And you thought you had one. And you didn't. You motherfuckers got disarmed. Now what? Y'all ready to talk about boxing now or what? The mind of a troll is a sickness. All right. I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna give it up. I watched a movie about Howard Stern called Private Parts. All right. I like Howard Stern. He's funny. He's funny as hell. Been listening to him for years. In his movie, when he was in the process of changing the outlook of terrestrial radio, they were studying the analytics of him, and this was very interesting. NBC hated him, but they couldn't fire him because he was generating them a lot of money. So they said, God, we hate this guy. We want to fire him, but we can't fire him because, you know, we have a huge fan base now. You know, the ratings are through the roof. They said, well, why the fuck? He's so offensive. So he said, well, get this. They asked people, why do you listen to Howard Stern? Do you like Howard Stern? They said 50% said yes. Or I don't remember the number, but let's just say they said 50% said yes, 50% said no. They said, well, do you listen to him? They said yes. They said, well, if you hate him, well, if you love him, why do you listen to him? He said, because I want to, they said, because I want to hear what he has to say next. Then they asked the people that hate him. They said, you hate him? Yeah. You listen to him? Yeah. Why do you listen to him if you hate him? The answer was, I want to see what he says next. The answer was the same. Love him or hate him. So you motherfuckers love to hate us, and yet you're here. You're here. Is that sick? Is it sick? So my question to you motherfuckers, do you want to talk boxing or not? We can agree to disagree. If boxing is a gentleman's sport, why can't the conversation be gentlemanly? We ain't got to go through all of this. But you guys bring it there. And I'm telling you, you keep doing it, it's not going to work out for you. Y'all heard what our brother had to say, but I don't know if y'all was really listening. There was a lot of warning shots in there. Keep playing. Keep playing. One of his biggest trolls backed off. Y'all need to follow suit. Suit. I just gave you another gem. Y'all need to stop playing with us. If you want to talk boxing, that's fine. We don't ever have to disagree. All right? But if you can come on here and have a gentlemanly conversation about the sport of boxing and put out real content. I mean, real content, not content, just videos trying to contradict what we say with our name all up in it. You're not going to grow your fan base like that. Evidence of this is there was 1,001 Manny Pacquiao Flomo channels. They're still up. Ask me where their content is. You go to a lot of those channels, they ain't put up content in 3 years. Their channels only grew in the heat of the moment. When the motherfuckers went away, where'd their content go? Where'd their money go? You motherfuckers are just like that. So I sound long-winded, but the LDBC is a community. It's a community. And that's why y'all can't stand it. And the more you hate, the more we grow. Dante's Boxing Nation ain't LDBC. Ego's Boxing ain't LDBC. They're their own brand. But they've been loyal to their own soil. That's why their channels are around. That's why they've grown. The brother Carcino, same thing. He don't talk much boxing anymore, but he was one of the channels I followed when he was talking boxing. You know, he had a close a relationship with Floyd Mayweather in the camp, but he also knows boxing. So when you know what you're talking about and you're loyal to yourself, you're going to grow your network on your own, whether you fuck with us or not. It's going to grow on its own when it's organic. But when you come on here trying to fuck with us and use our name all in the fucking title, it's not going to work for you. It might work for you for a hot minute. You might get a good 100 subs. But after that, it's over with. There's motherfuckers that just jump in here thinking that we only formed over Wilder. No, we've been here before that. Before it was, oh, y'all only like Wilder. Y'all only like Floyd. Oh, y'all only like the Charlos. No. Go back further than that. And we was formed because we wanted to get the fuck away from motherfuckers like you. So you know what? I'm not even gonna stop. I'm not even gonna tell y'all to stop coming around. Come around. I need more trolls. I'm almost at 1,000. I need more trolls. Come troll me. I'll be on live today, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come troll me. Because all you're doing is adding to my legacy. When you troll all LDBC channels, you're adding to our legacy. And you're looking stupid in the process. You dumb motherfuckers are creating multiple goddamn accounts to give us views. When are y'all, I said this, BFTB has said this. Yo, do you know a view is a view? It registers as a view. I don't spend money with people I don't like. There's a bunch of channels I don't fuck with. I don't even click view on it. If it pops up in my feed, I don't even press view. I'm like, oh, okay, I know who that is. Yeah, delete. I'm not going to give them the time of day. Motherfuckers been on YouTube 5 or 6 years. You're stuck at 250 fucking subs, and the only thing you have left to do is hate on us. Get a goddamn life. Go get a job. Because this shit ain't working out for you, obviously. Go get a job. You broke ass nigga. Fuck out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
Stop crying. Yeah.
Let me get these couple of these members came in. Hey, Devin Blocker, thank you for joining the channel. And time to Annie up. I thought you was already a member, man. But hey, good. Thank you so much. And Dana James said, I followed Fanon for years. I remember he was an AJ fan. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people always thought I just hated AJ. Liked him from the beginning. Back to liking him again. Absolutely happy with what's going on with AJ. Blood boxing in the building. What's good with you, man? Blood?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, man, it's all good, man. I'm well, man. Good to speak to you. Hold on one second, though. There's just hey, Devin Blocker, thank you so much. He says, salute, my brother. I love this channel. 100, and I look forward to Sunday mornings. Awesome, man. Thank you so much that's big time support. Thank you, sir. Blood, what's going on? What got you into YouTube boxing?
Oh, YouTube boxing? Well,
and the LDBC.
For me, like you were saying, and my internet kept going in and out. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Now you went out.
And all of that stuff. Am I still here?
Yeah, I can
I'm
hear
having
you.
a really bad signal this morning.
Now,
can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, the internet boxing talk started with boxing forums such as Eastside Boxing, Doghouse Boxing, and then it just went over to YouTube. I heard when you said that before I had went out, and that's exactly what happened. And most of us who came over to YouTube came from them forums. And one night I was watching a Floyd Mayweather fight. I was pissed off because it seemed like Floyd Mayweather was going to duck one of the fighters that I wanted to see him fight, which was Paul Williams and Antonio Margarito. So I came on and I vented about it. But I had already been following some YouTube boxing pages. It was a channel called Boxing for Real. They were the first boxing YouTube channel. They were the first ones. And I was following them. I was subscribed. And I said to myself, man, boxing for real ain't covering it like the way I wanted said. So I came out and said my own thing, but I wanted to be cool with everybody because I didn't want no beef or anything like that. I just wanted to talk boxing because I noticed that there was a couple of guys around that was coming around from the forums who knew what they was talking about. So my goal was only to talk boxing with people who knew what the fuck they was talking about. That's the only thing, that was my only goal at that time, okay? So I started coming on talking boxing, and then I ran into other guys who would watch my channel, like D-Style Boxing. He's in your chat right now. He's from back in the early days, and if you guys want to see how boxing discussions was done back then, you could go to his page. He just put up a clip called 97 Rough versus Joe Abib. Okay, B versus 97 Rough. And that's the early foundations of internet boxing talk right there. Okay, Ashley Knuckles and guys like that. Now the LDBC started from 78 Fight News. Okay, in 2011, when I was pissed off about how things was going, I was gonna leave YouTube way back then. And then there was a channel that surfaced called 78 Fight News, okay? So 78 Fight News got in contact with me, and I went over to 78 Fight News. He had like 3 or 4 subscribers, all right? I knew I had heard his voice before because he was also around on YouTube at that time too. I had heard his voice before, but I wasn't sure where I had heard it from until he told me who he was. And then he told me he was, hey, I was in a conscious community as Mad Black Man. So I remembered him. I remembered him as Mad Black Man. Once he said that, I knew who he was. Okay, so me and him, we connected and we started talking on the phone about boxing and all kind of shit. And we actually formed a channel together. You know what I'm saying? It was called 78 and Blood. Okay, we had 2 of those channels. They got suspended. 78 Fight News turned into 78 365 or some shit like that. You know, there was channels suspended. Me and him started doing videos together, just like I had did previously with the group of guys that I was working with previously and interacting with previously. But the group of guys I was interacting with previously, some of them became inactive and some of them went to podcasts. So now 78, I was running with 78 Fight News. So we kind of went through everything together, like the attack of the Pactards, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the Lions Den started when on the platform of 78 Fight News, who had already changed his name to 78 Sports TV, after several suspensions and, you know, all kinds of bullshit that we had went through at the time, okay? The Lions Den was just a platform that was on 78's page, is what it was. Where we would invite all kinds of people into debate on the Lions Den platform, which appeared on 78 Sports TV's platform, okay? So people were calling, all these different guys were calling, even people from overseas would call in, and we would have these debates. And they was real healthy debates. There was never no real problems or issues like that. There was also another group of guys from the YTBC who never would give black fighters credit. And there was these specific channels that really pushed against black fighters. I don't know. They had a whole agenda against black fighters. So when 78 came out, one day I was going to work and, you know, I tuned into 78 and he said that he's starting the Lions Den boxing community. But I wasn't surprised because I had already talked to him on the phone. And, you know, he never said that, hey, I'm going to do this. I could tell by conversations that he was headed away from the YTBC. You know what I'm saying? That there was no doubt about that shit. So when he said, hey, I'm going to do Lions Den boxing community, then I just rolled with it. So I didn't really know, you know, I wasn't part of the decision to go to the Lions Den. It was all 78. And that's how the LDBC got started. You know what I'm saying? And then since the LDBC has been started, it's been pretty confusing, okay? Because, you know, there's just been all different kind of people that's come into it. And when you get more people that come into a group, it gets very confusing. And you start to wonder who's who and stuff like that. Because when you get a whole bunch of people, there's going to be some you like and some you don't like. And that's where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Lions Den boxing community came from. It came from heated boxing debates anyways. And boxing was built off a race too. So boxing is just a heated sport altogether. When you discuss boxing, it could get heated all the time. The Pactards, they was from some other country. They was from the Philippines, and they got involved in it. So that just shows you how diverse a boxing community could be. Okay, it's global. It's a global sport. It ain't like the NFL where you just have the NFL popular over here for several years and nobody even know about the NFL and the NBA on a global level. But boxing is global, where the top athletes compete globally. So the arguments that are going to occur, that's what we're going to do as fight fans. We're going to go for our fighters. People want to ignore the race component and nationality and all of that shit. Culture, all of that is tied up into boxing. And sometimes you find what you identify with the most, and that's the fighter who you go with. You know, or maybe you just like the fighter's personality or something. Maybe you see something in that fighter that you see in yourself or something, or maybe you see something that you would have liked to have been yourself. You know what I'm saying? So boxing is just a deep sport. It's an emotional sport, and it's a man sport, and it touches with that masculine side of us. So, you know, we connect to that masculine side, and we connect to others who like the same sport. That's it.
All right, man. So look, we're gonna do something. So y'all, whatever this next dude pick. Oh, actually, let me do something, man. Brothers UK said, thank you, much love for that super chat. He said, peace, brother Fanon in the panel. Thank you, sir. Sean Snowden, the LDBC is the reason why I consume more boxing content than anything now. I appreciate everyone's insights from the creators and from the people like me who just love being in the chat. Salute, family. Thank you, Sean Snowden. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your support, man. So look, we can get questions to the questions to the panel, or somebody on the panel want to have a discussion point next. Let me know. Drew, you have something you want to talk about?
Just, you know what? Yeah, I had this debate. I was having this debate on Facebook, and I was going to make a video about it, but I'll bring it here. I want to ask the brothers, and I asked the chat, did Eddie Hearn fail? Did he fail? That's my question. I had this conversation. Well, it was ridiculous. The UK clowns, and I'm calling these two individuals clowns in particular because they don't talk any other boxing. But the minute I say Eddie Hearn, they swoop in, and you know, they try and talk and type all articulate and try and use big words like I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm like, no, you said all of that. You just never answered my question. Last I remember, this guy was talking about an American invasion, and he was going to take over boxing. I remember that. And he came over here, and his big marketing point was he had this $1 billion bag. Y'all remember that? The $1 billion bag. And the first thing he did when he touched the soil, basically touched the soil, was he had this bag, and everybody was, you know, coming up to my Facebook page. Oh, he's about to spend that $1 billion and take all you PBC fighters. All right, mind you, these are the same guys that said the PBC fighters ain't shit. Now you're talking about, oh, they're going to chase the money and go to the zone and all this other shit. Okay, so I just said, all right, let's watch what happens. I remember he went to Adrian Broner. And long story short, Broner shut his shit down and said, all right, I don't care how much money you got. I'm loyal to Al. Then he went to the Charlos. Charlos said, all right, let's meet up. They didn't go. I also recall him sending Tyson Fury an offer. And not only did Tyson Fury told him to go kick rocks and eat a dick while he was at it, he put out the goddamn email and said, no, yo, you crazy? I'm not going with you. So Eddie Hearn was striking out all over the place. Now, you know, some people went and got their money, but for the majority, people thought that he was going to come over and basically bust up the PBC. It was never about, well, it was about a UK invasion, American takeover / UK invasion, but they was really thinking that he was going to come over here with $1 billion and bust up the PBC by taking all the fighters. That's what they thought. All right, so enough time has passed. I think we're on like year number 2. And if I'm not mistaken, the average business either succeeds, it takes about 2 to 5 years to succeed, or it fails within the same amount of time. So I think enough time has passed to know what DAZN was going to do. And they started filing for bankruptcy and all kinds of weird shit, whatever. So my question to the panel and to the chat is, was Eddie Hearn successful? Now, let me be very clear. He made his money. He made his money back, his money. But he was supposed to take over American boxing. I'm not talking about his revenue. I'm not talking about his pockets. His bloodline is secure. I'm talking about, was he successful in taking over American boxing? Y'all thoughts?
Hey, Callie should be the one to answer that first. But hold on. Bert from Arkansas said, Fanon in the panel, do you all believe we are watching the maturity of young brother of brother Anthony Joshua? Is he coming into his manhood as an athlete and as a man? Bert from Artican, let me give that to Callie Enigma.
Okay, unbelievable watching. Oh, you talking about as far as I'm sorry, I had to go away for a minute. I was reading some other stuff. What was the question again?
Fanon and panel, do you all believe we are watching the maturity of brother Anthony Joshua? He is coming into his manhood. Is he coming into his manhood as an athlete and a man?
I mean, as far as stuff dealing with outside of the sport of boxing, from what I've seen, I would say yes. I don't know about within the sport of boxing. I hope so. I mean, the brother did stand up for his people, man. I can't. And then when he was challenged, he didn't back down. So as far as Anthony Joshua, that made me look at him in a different light. So I haven't. That's why you really haven't seen me, shitting on Anthony Joshua at all. And I'm not going to, for the simple fact, when it came time to stand on the square as a black man, he did. He did. He didn't waver. He stood right there and he stood his ground. So I would say, as far as that, from what I see, I would say yes. I really haven't seen much of what he's been doing as in pertaining to the sport of boxing. But like I said, when it came time to stand on black, he put black first. And any brother who do that, I'm a ride with. Any brother, any sister do that, I'm a ride with. So as far as that, I can say yes. Within the sport of boxing, I haven't seen anything of late that he's done. Of course, with COVID-19, I haven't really seen too many videos or pictures or anything like that. So I don't know what else he's been up to. I haven't seen too many tweets of his, or I don't know if he sent out any other tweets or any posts on Instagram, because I haven't seen anything like that. But as far as I've seen from Anthony Joshua, for what I've seen, I will say yes. That's the only answer I can give you, because I can't give you anything other than that, because I've seen very little.
Okay, hold on one second. Hey, what's up? 24/7 mentality said you can look into Eddie's eyes and see a loser bomb squad. Yeah. So I think that Eddie, as far as that, what's going on, BFTB?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's up, y'all brothers?
Chilling on the show, man. On the show. You want let me try to get you real quick, man. Actually, I didn't do that for everybody. Damn, I forgot to do that. Oh, that's because all you Negroes was late. That's what it is. BFTB. So what's going on, man? You want to answer the question about, do you think Eddie Hearn is a success or a failure outside of his own ability to make money?
Well, there's two. This is a two-piece. So I mean, it was some stuff that you was talking about earlier about, I was listening to King's Cook earlier about, y'all coming into the LB.
Oh yeah. So
I want to address that. I want to address that, and then I'll also address whether or not Eddie Hearn failed. But for jumping into the LDBC, for me, first off, I didn't even know I was in it. Just so everybody understand that. I got into boxing to watching boxing from a dude by the name of Mr. Boxing Today. That's the very first channel I've ever watched in for boxing, period. And I was watching him, like, you know, he used to do these little things in his garage or whatever, or he's boxing, punching on the punching bag, or whatever the case may be. And I was watching, but he would punch, and it's sort of like him, between him and my godfather Blood. Them is the ones that sort of created this beast. Because what Mr. Boxing Today would do is he would talk what he's doing. And he'd throw the punches, he'd land a shot, and he'd tell you what it is, what he's doing, and how. And I was so intrigued by that. And I got to watch them and then he mentioned Blood, about how Blood be roasting people or whatever the case may be. So I didn't know who that was, but you know, I'm the type of person, I'm such an analytical thinker that I'm just going to be like, okay, now there's Blood, so now I'm looking for Blood. And then I found this channel and I listened to him, and the man was so, I forget exactly what the topic was, but I know it was something to do with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, where he was pretty much saying, I don't give a fuck about neither one of them motherfuckers, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I just want these motherfuckers to fight and shut the fuck up, in a nutshell. And that right there, so you add what Mr. Boxing Today does, which was the first channel I've ever watched, and then with someone that's consistent and just wanted the best to fight the best, hence here I am. And then then I started to comment, like he mentioned a few other channels. And I didn't get a chance to go to him, but the one that caught my attention was 7-8. That one caught my attention. So then I went to that one, and when I went to it, he was talking about how Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is the fight of the future. He was talking about something like that. So I didn't know who Anthony Joshua was at all. I knew Deontay Wilder was, but I had no idea who to do this. So then I looked the dude up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this probably be a good thing. I mean, I didn't see him fight anybody, but all right, that'll. He hadn't fought. I don't think he fought Dillian White at this time, to be honest. But whatever. And then from that point, it was more so of why are people pushing false narratives? Like, that's not true. That's not true. Nobody gave a damn. No one gives a damn about Vladimir Klitschko. That's not true. Like, okay, Floyd Mayweather this and Manny Pacquiao that. That's not true. I mentioned one thing, and I was a abundance of niggers and flomos. I'm like, bro, like what the heck? Yeah. So then I sort of backed off a little bit. I sort of backed off and just listened to a lot of stuff, and then I would comment on a few things, but it was mainly on 7-8's channel where I would comment. I really didn't comment much everywhere else. Or 7-8, it was either 7-8 or Mr. Boxing Today that I would comment. I wouldn't really comment on Blood's channel. I would just listen, because it was always, it wasn't, I couldn't catch Blood like I wanted to catch him all the time, but I would just listen because it was like it was a sporadic thing. But I knew when Mr. Boxing was coming, then his started to be sporadic too. And then it was just, I could just catch 7-8. So I would do most of my comments there. And then he was just like, you know, you know what you're talking about, man. You need to start putting this on wax. And I'm like, I'm good. And he just kept pestering me to do this, and pester me because he would see me going at people in the comments. So then it was like, all right, fuck it, man. I'll do it. Fuck it. And then here I am. Then a man by the name of the GOAT was like, hey, dude, you're pretty much popping, man. So we're gonna go ahead and put you on this channel and get you boosting. I mean, when 7-8 he would come through pretty much almost every day and tell people, yo, this brother got next. This young man got next. I'm telling y'all, he got next on his channel. So I picked up some subscribers like that. And then Fanon put me on his channel. And in one day I went from like 300 subs to 1,000 in like one day. And then from that point on, here I am, bro. From that point on, I mean, and I can go in more in depth, but I know we probably want to get some other things in. But man, but that's why I call that. That's the reason why I call Blood the Godfather, bro. Like there's certain names like the General. Like I made that up. wasn't calling him that. They was just calling him 7'8". That was just it. And hence, you know, a military guy, a military term. Like, this isn't hard to figure out where that came from. Blood boxing, the Godfather, for a reason, bro. For a reason. How I go straight at people with pure facts. Got it from blood. Facts. That's not a debate. I got it straight from blood. Straight from them. Now, my analytical, it got heightened by listening to Phenom, because I used to listen to Phenom before he had to put his face up a lot. A lot. Like, I listened to him like almost every single day, man. And it's crazy, Phenom, too, because I thought you looked something like somebody else. Your voice, it looked like in my head was like a young, like, I don't know. I didn't think he was light skinned either. I thought he was like a dark skinned brother. Serious. They're serious. Well, I mean, that was.
So did I, bro. So did I. I thought he was dark skinned too.
that was
I thought that too. Yep.
That was just my take on it. I'm just like, all right, well, you know. And then when I saw him, I'm like, damn, bro, this man right here, look, it's like I don't know,
No.
how the talk.
You look like Stacey King from the Bulls, nigga. Not like Stacey King.
Nah, it was like
Come on, Phenom used that skin lightening cream, didn't you, brother? Come on.
Nigga, you look like Patrick Ewing.
the shit was dope though.
Oh, ew.
Telling me I look like Stacey King. Fuck Stacey King.
Now, the last thing before I give it back to you is about whether or not Eddie Hearn is a success or not. And that Eddie Hearn could have been a success. He could have been a success. He chose to fail, bro. Eddie Hearn failed by choosing. He came over here with the regardless of anybody wants to run with it, that's what it is. The white supremacist mindset. Speaking these little clickbait words of transatlantic deal and stuff like that. Get out of here, man. We know what that is. You're speaking a transatlantic deal to black people who you're trying to get. We know what that is. All you had to do with this slick talking ass, all he had to do, don't talk about how much bread you got. Just go out there and do it. It's not your money. It's not. It belonged to the zone. Just go out there and be like, hey, man, hey, Charlos, how much do you want? Oh, you want 30 million? Bet. Here you go. It's not my money. I ain't losing. That'd be like Phenom saying, hey, look, yes, I practice this law. Yes. And yes, I have this amounts of funds. I want to get 5 people on my channel. And this is how much money you have to do it. Bro, all I'm going to do is be like, okay, perfect. This is not my bread. This is Phenom's bread. Okay. Drew, how much money you want to come on this channel? Drew, let me get 10,000. Bet. Callie, how much you want? Bro, there's no negotiating. It's not my bread. He had the easy route to success. He could have grabbed all these guys. He could have grabbed them all, every last one of them. He could have the Charlos. He could have Broners. He fuck around and might have been able to get Egypt. Just being honest, yo. He chose failure over success. And I give it back to you.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, than the Eddie Hearn shit. Yeah, he definitely could have came in smarter than that. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's just really not. I mean, I think he's just did the best that he could do with the bullshit with what he got. You know what I mean? But at the end, it just got, who can survive a pandemic like in that particular circumstance? Yeah, it was tough. It's tough. But hey, man, so look, I want to switch up questions real quick, man. I want to see, what do you guys think of this week? What do you guys think about Keith Thurman? And Keith Thurman's, has been talking a lot of shit, dog. He's been talking a lot of shit. Talking about fighting Errol Spence, and if Errol Spence Jr. Doesn't fight him, then he's got to get out the division. Talks about Brook, as one of the top, at one point in time, one of the best welterweights in the world. Keith Thurman coming off a loss. Where do you think that he stays right now in the welterweight division? And let me give that to Blood.
Well, Keith Thurman, I know he's my Florida guy, man, but he doesn't really come from Florida. He's from one of y'all states, man. I think he's from over there with Cali.
Nah, he's over there with you, bro. He with you. He lived with you. He lived with you.
No, man, he was surfing on them beaches over there in California, you know, over there in the Bay Area. That's where
He the reason why you keep cutting out, brother.
I heard all about it. You know what I'm saying? So, but Keith, man, I don't think too highly of Keith Thurman. Don't really like him. He was inactive for several years. He tried to take a Floyd Mayweather approach and thought he was more than what he was. He, you know, he's just delusional. He lost to an old man in Manny Pacquiao. I know Manny Pacquiao still got some juice left, but he's still an old man. He couldn't be. He's in his prime, and he couldn't beat the old ass Manny Pacquiao who Jeff Horn beat. So to me, Keith Thurman is just all talk, man. He needs to cut his ponytail off. If he cuts his ponytail off and comes back with a fade, then maybe I could start believing what he's saying. But first of all, he got to cut off the ponytail, come back with a fresh fade, or go with the ball dome, go with what Fanon got. If you could get something similar to what Fanon got up there, then, you know, I might listen to him. But, you know, and other than that, man, I don't take Keith Thurman seriously, man. There's not much I could say about Keith Thurman other than clown him. So I'll leave it at that. That's as far as I'm gonna take it. And I saw Fanon before all of you guys too, because he came onto one of my live streams to do a documentary with me one time. And when I first saw him, I was expecting to see a dark-skinned nigga, and then I saw somebody lighter than me. I was like, damn, well, I ain't the lightest nigga no more in the LDPC. Okay. Now we got one. Now we got a more high yellow nigga than I am. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that something?
That's a lie, nigga. You just out there in that sun. But if you were in your hometown of Britain and the UK, your ass would have might have been a shade lighter or two. Damn. Oh, y'all, it's funny how the mind works, though, dog. It's funny how the mind works. I used to say the Pac fan, so I hear you're from Philly beans. Eggplants, like what's that like? Back to lemon cake and orange juice. Damn, some lemon cake and orange juice. That shit sounds absolutely great. 24/7 mentality said Thurman is a feature from NWA's 100 Miles of Running. Man, dude, Keith, I don't know why y'all so hard on Keith Thurman. That's crazy. What's your take on Keith Thurman, Drew Titan?
The brother was on the brink of doing something big, man. When he came around, you know, he was, you know, you better not duck me, Thun. He put Paulie on blast, and Paulie was talking about, oh yeah, show me the money. Don't nobody give a shit about you, Paulie, unless you're in the ring with a real one. But Paulie ain't selling no seats unless he's, you know, wanting to be a punching bag. But you know, Keith, you know, he was on the verge of doing something big, and then, you know, then he started making these great paydays, and you know, he got comfortable. You know what Marvin Hagler said. You know, it's real hard to get up and put in that work when you're laying in silk sheets. You know, and he went from being a warrior to a part-time warrior. You know, he found some Indian chick that looked good, married her. Now he want to play the flute and make cobras come out the basket and shit, fly on carpets and shit. You know what I mean? And he didn't take the sport seriously. You know, once he got that bag, you know, I started watching him do these you know, when he was like announcing fights and stuff like that. I'm like, why is his face so round? He had to have been about 200 pounds sitting there, man. I'm serious. You know, it was just ridiculous, man. And him sitting on the sideline, Errol came out of seemingly nowhere and stole all his shine and was calling him out at that. Calling him out, man. You know, come on, man. Was you really injured? I don't think so. He was trying to get the Manny Pacquiao fight. And when Manny Pacquiao ducked him, Errol said, yo, I'm your Huckleberry. Then all of a sudden, yo, my shoulder hurt. Come on, Keith, man. We saw that shit, man. We saw that. He wasn't in the ring for a better part of 2 years, damn near. Come on now. Come on, Keith. So we don't trust you now, Keith. You don't trust it, man. Can you imagine Keith cutting you know what? They should put in the contract, next fight that he lose, cut your fucking hair. Cut your fucking hair. I remember when Oscar De La Hoya was training to fight Hector Camacho. He said, yo, the deal is, he said, Hector, if I beat you, you got to cut that shit. Remember that little Superman curl he used to have on the front of his head? He said, if I beat you, you got to cut that shit off in the ring. Well, heck, they ain't do it, but goddamn, man, they need to do that with Keith, yo. If you lose your next fight, shave your shit off in the ring, shave it off. You know what I mean? To the beat of the rhythm of the night, looking ass, El DeBarge looking motherfucker. What's motherfucker, man? This dude, he lost his steam, and it's nothing that anyone did. It's not like he lost his steam before he lost the fight in the ring. That's the crazy part. He went from KOs for life to just sitting on the sideline. Nobody loved him like that we gave a shit about him. No one anticipated his comeback. So now that he lost, he said he wasn't afraid to let the old go. You lost to a guy that in our eyes was supposed to be done. Now you lost. So now you coming back on some bipolar shit, talking about, talking to Errol, you'll fight me a leader division. Yo, check this out. You got bad ribs as it is. That's the word in the industry. What the fuck you think Errol does? So you need to rephrase that, my nigga, or my half a nigga, my half nigga. You half-breed motherfuckers. You half-breed motherfuckers be looking Latino. I swear to God, if Keith Thurman went walking down the Grand Concourse, Puerto Ricans would walk right up to him and start talking that shit. He'd be like, huh? Yeah, motherfucker. You going backwards right now. You need to be staying away from Errol. But call him out. You talking about getting the ring with me, a leader division? Okay. You go on and get that work. He gonna end your career. Your rib is gonna be hanging out your goddamn the other side of your left ribs is gonna be hanging out the right side of your body. Motherfucker. We don't trust you, Keith. We don't trust you, Keith. We do not trust you, Keith. All trust is gone, man. You played too many games. You played politics before you even got famous. You got more than the average human being, and you thought you was the shit. Really, when fighters do that, they really looking for attention. And where they fuck up is they get the attention that they're asking for, and they get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Keith know he can't win that fight. Keith will lose to Sean Porter in a rematch. Convincingly, in my opinion. We haven't seen Errol since the car accident. We haven't seen Errol in the ring, and I just feel that Errol will body this dude in 5 rounds. We don't trust you, Keith. We don't believe you. We don't trust you, and that's what I think about Mr. Keith Thurman, man. Keith DeBarge. That's what I think about that guy. Don't trust you,
man. I got a different take though.
Go ahead, BTV.
My thing is, I'm about the best fighting the best, bro. Keith Thurman, although he been doing everything that Drew says is a fact. I mean, he been doing all that weird ass shit. He's still one of the best in the welterweight division. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't trust that man at all when it comes to that type of conversation he's talking. But at least now he's talking it. You know what I'm saying? Before he was on his high horse, acting like just like my godfather said, like he's Floyd Mayweather, and he could not get the fuck out of. Now, guess what, buddy? Now you're saying you want to smoke. You told Bud send the contract. You told EJ send the contract or get out of this. Blah blah blah. He's even calling out Kell Brook right now, saying he'll go to the UK and fight him. You know what I'm saying? I think someone needs to call this man's bluff before he starts to say, "Never mind, I'm just playing." Them was jokes. Nah. Okay, listen. Okay, if that's the case, fight him then. Oh, look, Bud Crawford will. Bro, he ain't got nobody to fight. Go ahead and get that Keith Thurman. That's a good name on your resume, bro. That's a good name on your resume. Very good name. Putting Keith Thurman on there, very good name. Keith Thurman can fight, bro. It's just he has no midsection. His guts is gone, like all that from below his fucking chest, all the way down is gone. There's nothing there. It's like Amir Khan's chin. It's the exact same thing. But I'm sitting here like, nah, bro, take this shit, bro. Take that. If this dude is out here saying, yeah, I'll fight you and I'll fight you, you're clearly desperate for something. You're clearly pressing for something because you just fought Manny Pacquiao, so you can't be desperate for money. It's got to be desperate for to put his name back in the limelight. And before this man gets a fight like I don't know, even if he gets a Sean Porter rematch, I think he's going to lose that. I think it's a different Sean Porter he'd be fighting. You know what I mean? He's on that, and he's on the downslide a little bit. But Keith Thurman can fight, bro. He can fight. He just his Achilles heel is just like Amir Khan's Achilles heel. Just one is a chin and one is a body. He's not beaten, in my opinion. He doesn't beat any of the top guys. I think he loses to Danny Garcia right now because I feel like he's been like, what do they call it, castrated. I think he's been castrated. KOs for life. Hasn't KO'd nobody at all mad long. I listen, bro. I think that these people should get it. They should get that name on their resume while that name is trying to get put on their resume. I think they should do it because otherwise he's going to back out, bro. We've already seen him do this, backing out left and right. Oh, it's a get back here. It's a get back here. It's a get back here. But then you go fight Manny Pacquiao, and then I still don't remember where the get back year went. Remember, it's supposed to have been a get back year. Well, where did that year go? Because you now you're talking about you went from fighting Collazo or whatever this dude's name is to Manny Pacquiao. Talking about you're not going to fight Errol Spence, none of the top guys because it's a get back year, and now you're calling out all the top guys. Well, where did the get back year go? You just completely threw that out. So that I'm telling y'all, it was an excuse for him to not fight these guys because the get back year was an excuse to not fight these guys, and he thought he was going to beat Manny Pacquiao. That's what he thought. And then when he lost and got his ass whooped to Manny Pacquiao, yeah, I mean it started to get a little bit closer to the end, but he lost that fight clearly, in my opinion. Now he needs to get his name back in the limelight. Bro, someone needs to jump on that. If I'm Bud Crawford, I'm jumping. Beat his ass. That's what I think.
Yeah, this is what I
Hold on
think.
1 second. Damn, I'm sorry, Callie. Forgive me, man. Georgia P said, does Keith still have it, or is he yesterday's news? I think he has. I'll get to it. I think we're all going to address that. I don't think that he's. I personally I still think he has it. He just gotta. I trust that he's got those injuries, and that he's got to get that shit together. And if he gets physically all the way there, he's still a top fighter. Mahari Sports podcast says, man, where's the leather strap for Thurman? Man, you'll be rough, Mahari. So yeah. So what's your take on it, Callie?
I look at it like this. Keith Thurman's last fight was 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Errol Spence. The scary thing about Errol Spence is, remember when Errol Spence got into a car accident in October? It's been it's approaching a year since he's been in an accident. Errol Spence has had an opportunity to recover, to heal. So all those people who were excited, because there's a lot of folks who was calling out his name, and now he had an opportunity to sit down and relax for almost a year. Keith Thurman's been out a year. Keith Thurman hasn't been training. Keith Thurman wants a payday. I mean, Errol Spence is a money guy. He's one of the money guys in the division. So it makes sense for him to want to call out Errol Spence now. It's like he's not in the lead position anymore. Keith Thurman's the key to Keith Thurman being relevant was his belt. And now Keith Thurman doesn't have a belt. Now he has to start chasing again because he's looking for another payday. But I don't care. I would love to see the fight. If they can make that fight, if you can make one of those fights, he's one of the top guys, make it. I mean, if you can't get Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, I'm not sure we can get Terrence Crawford because I'm not sure that Top Rank or ESPN is looking to pay that kind of money to get a Keith Thurman over there right now. I think that Keith Thurman and Sean Porter should run it back. I mean, I know Sean Porter wants that fight. I mean, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that rematch? At worst, I mean, there's a lot of good fights out there. I would like to see Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman, but I would also like to see Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman. I would like to see Terrence Crawford versus Keith Thurman, which I don't think is realistic. Let's see Danny Garcia run it back against Keith Thurman. But Keith Thurman has options, just a matter of how badly does he truly want those fights. And what I mean, I know we already know that. I think Errol Spence is supposed to fight Danny Garcia next. I think that's the next fight, to be honest with you. But I would love to see Errol Spence because Errol Spence did chase, Keith Thurman for years. For years. And I would love to see Errol Spence be the first one to stop him. Because I think that if Errol Spence and Keith Thurman fight, I think Errol Spence retires Keith Thurman. So that's the kind of talk I haven't heard anybody speaking about. I think he retires Keith Thurman. I think he beats him up so bad to the body that he walks away forever. He'll get his payday and he will stay away. So I would love to see that. I think Errol Spence should really consider that fight after the Danny Garcia fight. Keith Thurman next. Go ahead and retire that dude. That dude is just here to get his payday, and then he goes and walks away for another year. But I think this time, I think Errol Spence beats the last wavering will out of Keith Thurman. I think he submits him into retirement. And I think that Keith Thurman's totally okay with that because he has a loss now. And now he's looking for his retirement package. And I think he wants the golden parachute from Errol Spence. And I think Errol Spence should give it to him. Give it to him. I want to see this dude go away. This dude is annoying. He's that last piece of shit that just tends to linger around inside the toilet that won't flush. That's Keith Thurman. So do him a favor. Do him a favor, man. Retire this dude. Get this dude up out of here, man. That's exactly what he is. Salute to Junior the Truth, who just dropped in the building. That's my brother right there. I would love to see it happen. But I think that Errol Spence having this time. This is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted Errol Spence to get about a year away from the sport and let his body heal. And he's got an opportunity to do that. And I think it's very dangerous. Very dangerous for Keith Thurman. Man, hopefully we get a chance to see that after the Danny Garcia fight. Retire that motherfucker. Shout out to Drew Titan for wearing Junior Truth's brand, his deodorant brand, the Black Gentleman. Salute to my brother, the entrepreneur. You know what I said? That's that brother right there from Dayton, Ohio, also known as Oscar De La Hoya's brother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Junior the Truth.
Junior the Truth. You got the Black Gentlemen's going on, man. What's going on with you, Junior the Truth?
Hey, man, good morning, bro. It's all good. Salute, family. Salute, Drew. I appreciate you, man. I really, truly do. Salute, Cali Enigma. I appreciate you. Fanon, salute, brother. I apologize for coming in so late, but I wasn't going to come in, but I just disagree with everybody, so I figured I'd come in here and bicker.
Well, you got to go first. But yeah, before you get a chance to bicker, though, Doug, you got to talk about, how you learned about the LDBC.
Oh, okay.
And what got you started talking.
Okay, I had been messing around with YouTube for a while. Like I always watched it, but I kind of wrestled with creating a channel. I had a podcast. I came in the game podcasting. I had a podcast that was called the Zone Podcast. So I basically talked about sports in general, and I talked about it from a black fan, black athlete, perspective. And my goal was truly to just give black athletes a fair shake because they never get a fair shake in media. And I was inspired by my actual program, one of my program chairs, to basically, she, we were in class one day and she asked me if I podcast or if I did. And I'm like, no, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, well, you should. So anyway, so I came in the game podcast and I kind of wanted to transition over to YouTube. But, I was more or less just listening in on YouTube, so from like my government account, my real name and shit like that. So I kind of discovered the brothers. And then I put up my Junior the Truth page and I just really didn't make a video. Like I had the page for probably about 2 or 3 years and never really, or 2 years and never really made a video. I was still just concentrating on podcasting. And then I ran across Black Fight Fan TV. And I won't say I ran across him first. I think the first it was probably, it was black. It was black. So it was Black Fight Fan TV. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? I caught wind of Course 78, Santee Walden, Coach, you know what I mean? And I just kind of, listened in or whatever the case may be. And then Black sent me some, Black started like really truly interacting with me as far as, on my videos and so on and so forth. And then Black Fight Fan TV sent me a shout out one day about Ohio. And it was, I don't know, it was Adrian Broner was fighting or Robert Easter Jr. or somebody was fighting. And I think it was Adrian Broner. So he sent me a shout out. He said, yeah, y'all go check out my homie out in Ohio, Junior the Truth, thorough brother, blah, 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 blah. And then I got like a boost in subs just from that because I was at like 100 subs forever. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't really creating content, you know, so on and so forth. And so then I kind of came in, and then I just started chopping it up, going back and forth with the brother. And then I had hit him up one day, and we was just chopping it up. And then he started talking about how we kind of needed the LDBC kind of needed a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And so I just sat down and I talked. And that was just pretty much how it, you know what I mean? That's just kind of how it popped off. And then hence was the birth of the Smoke City Mobcast. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they say that, and I'm like, all right, well, give me a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I took probably about 3-4 days, maybe a week, got everything together. You know what I'm saying? Then we launched that joint. And that was pretty much, you know, the Smoke City Mobcast was probably within the first, probably my first year of being in the LDBC, being affiliated with the LDBC. And then it just kind of been on, you know what I mean, and cracking from there. I will say it is for me, you know what I mean, the LDBC is just no question. You know what I'm saying? It's always been an honor. And I've been affiliated with many groups, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm an athlete, so I've always been a team player. I pledged a fraternity, so I've been a part of the fraternity. I've been a part of, you know, various grassroots organizations. I've been a community organizer, so on and so forth. And so for me, this is just an absolute no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of this, and it's just been an honor, and that's just what it is. You feel me? So for me, it's the LDBC is what it is. Now, similar to my brother Blood Boxing, do I agree with everybody? Hell no, I don't agree with everybody. You know what I mean? Do I like everybody? Hell no, I don't like everybody. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what you get when you are a part of an organization or a team or whatever the case may be. So ultimately, it is what it is. What's the next question for now?
What about Keith Thurman? Do you think Keith Thurman can make it back? What do you make of all the stuff Keith Thurman's talking about?
Keith Thurman just wants to cash out. I think at this juncture, I think Keith Thurman, he had one job, which was to beat Manny Pacquiao. Now because of Keith Thurman and his inability to beat Manny Pacquiao on the heels of talking shit about Adrian Broner's performance against Manny Pacquiao, let's not leave that out. Now the Pactars won't. They're still alive. They still got breath. This man has a title. This 40-plus-year-old man still has a title, man. We still have to talk about Manny Pacquiao in current terms and his legacy of greatness and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm saying? You had one job. You feel me? There's no reason why you shouldn't have went out there and been able to make it do what it do, except for Keith Thurman is just a shell of himself, man. And I think at this juncture, the game has passed Keith Thurman by. I love my brother BFTB Boxing. I disagree with him. Keith Thurman is not one of the best welterweights. I think Keith Thurman is a mid-tier welterweight at this time. I would like to see either Keith Thurman. I need to put him. And I know, you know, because it seems contradictory, because I'm a person who I don't believe that the one loss, you know, one loss doesn't define your career and so on and so forth. But when you have his loss, in addition to his inactivity, in addition to his his take on the sport of boxing, him holding up the welterweight division as a unified champion, him being able to hold on to the WBA after 2+ years of inactivity, I just don't think it's any no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's in him. If he is still one of the best welterweights, I want him to prove it. You know what I mean? I want him to prove it. I think he should be matched up with someone like a Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Ugas, and then, you know, work his way up, you know what I mean? A rematch with Danny Garcia or a rematch with Showtime Sean Porter and climb and claw his way back into the top of the division. I don't want him to get a fight made by going through by the social media. I know that's the time we live in, but I don't want his fight made on social media. You know what I mean? So I'm Keith Thurman is just looking for a payday. Keith Thurman's looking for a payday. Now, what I did want to touch on, dang, I paused. God damn.
What happened?
Well, he got kidnapped.
Nah,
I don't know. That nigga said
He like him and Oscar are homies. You know, they grew up together.
Screen
Keith,
That's it, man. That's what happened.
Keith ran up in his house.
Yeah, his screen froze, so he tried to get his screen moving.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I just want to rebut. Let me give a quick rebuttal right quick. It'll be quick. Like I feel what my brother Junior said. Definitely feel it. Where he said Keith trying to cash out. I'm not saying that he's not trying to cash out. I'm not. But I am saying that Keith is one of the top welterweights Because if he's not one of the top welterweights, who's higher than him? And if we're gonna say Danny Garcia, well, he beat Danny Garcia. We're gonna say Sean Porter, he beat Sean Porter. And if you are gonna say they're above him, that's fine. But then the only other people you're gonna say are above him is Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. That makes him at least number 5, at least. So he's still a top guy. Who you're gonna put Ray Roberts? I know you're not gonna put Ugas over him. Ugas lost to Sean Porter, and he beat Sean Porter. So I know you're not gonna put Ugas over Keith Thurman. I know that much. But I would agree that he's looking for a cash out. But that's when I say he's a top guy, that's what I'm talking about. Normally we say top 5. So we gotta put him in the top 5. Otherwise, who we putting in there? Ray Robinson? Green beans.
So hey, juniors.
You good, Junior?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, my fault, man. My internet's choppy. I heard my brother cooking.
Yeah, I rebutted you, King. That's all.
I know. So let me see, because I think you're dealing with factual information, BFTB. Let me see. So we have Errol Spence, right? We have to have Pacquiao there, right? We have to have who else is the champion? Crawford.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's a toss up. So the 5 spot is a 3-way draw between Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Sean Porter. So you're right. He is still top of the welterweight division, and it's because the other guys aren't allowed. They're not let in yet. You understand what I'm saying? They're not fighting any of the other up and coming welterweights like Boots. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. So he is still atop the division. He is still atop the division. I think with his inactivity, another loss will change that.
Facts.
I agree 100%. But for me, Keith Thurman just wants to cash out.
Hey, hold on one second, man. When you cut away, I wanted to get to the super chat real quick. Let me get these 2 super chats. Jedi King Pudge says, salute to the OGs. Keep up the great work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. And Big Dog Willie said, Junior the truth, you hating on light-skinned dudes with ponytails. Why you hating on light-skinned dudes with ponytails, man?
Man, because there's no room for light-skinned dudes with ponytails, man. When David Jackson cuts off his ponytail, the ponytail era is over. The shit's done. You feel me? It's over. It's over. So, but that was my and then the thing I wanted to, can I go back to the Eddie Hearn conversation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, real quick, but this is the thing I disagree with. Eddie Hearn, I feel, for all intents and purposes, what is Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn is a promoter. Okay. The job of a promoter is to what? They make fights and they bring notoriety to a fighter. So you are hiring a promoter to promote you, to promote your career, so on and so forth. So I just have one question. If we did not have Eddie Hearn, would we know who Anthony Joshua is? If we did not have Eddie Hearn, would we know who Dillian White is?
Yes, and then no. Yes for Anthony Joshua, no for
Dillian White. Yeah.
Okay. I personally don't believe that I don't believe that Anthony Joshua will have the notoriety that he has now. I don't believe those strategic moves in his career.
No, you're asking I think you're answering a different question.
Okay.
Because he said, has he been a success with the Zone taking over boxing in America? Not whether
that was the question. All I heard was Eddie Hearn a success. So the question is specific.
Let me give you the whole question.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
the whole question was Eddie Hearn successful in his attempt? Basically, it's a setup question from Drew Titan.
Yeah.
Was to call him so everybody can take a turn call him a fucking failure. Because he asked whether or not he's been successful in the United States on his promise to take over American boxing. This is a very loaded question.
Oh yeah, hell no. And that's because he's stupid in the motherfucker. Because at the end of the day, white supremacy and privilege makes you stupid. You know what I mean? Privilege makes you dumb. And at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn came in the game wrong. What Eddie Hearn should have did was he should have came into the game in a partnership capacity. He should have came in under the tutelage of Top Rank, or he should have partnered with PBC, who is actually being innovative in the sport at the time. And he should have came in and partnered with Al Heyman and offered to have the PBC fighters on the app to present this new model and yet another avenue for the PBC to take advantage of. And then he should have continued working with them for the better part of, probably 2 to 3 years, and then got success over on the app. We all would have had that fucking app downloaded on our phones. Everybody would still be watching that shit. Even they would have figured out something to do through this pandemic, and then 3, 4, 5 years down the line, then he could launch his own official career. But you don't just show up on somebody's block talking about you about to just take over. That's just stupid. That don't even make fucking sense. So yeah, he was an absolute 100% failure with the US takeover. Period.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That was just a straight shooter, man. But and so instead of that, because I'm sure you wouldn't have wasted your time on that question if you had known that that. What about Adrian Bronner and Regis Prograis? You know, use on my commented on my video or something about that. What's your thoughts on Adrian Bronner and Prograis?
Man, I'm tired of them teasing, man. They acting like teasers right now, man. I need them to go ahead on and make that fight. So whoever's, you know, responsible for holding the fight up, for me personally, I believe Adrian Broner is responsible for holding the fight up because he's the money. He is the person that's going to bring the money to the table. I know for a fact Regis Prograis probably wants that fight, or not probably. I know for a fact Regis Prograis wants that fight because that will catapult his career with regard to notoriety. I need that fight. I need that fight now. Like, I need that fight ASAP Rocky. I called for that fight. I wanted to see that fight before the Josh Taylor situation with Regis Prograis. Like, I've been wanting to see that fight. Regis Prograis was training and he was running one day and he said, I'm gonna handle this. And then Adrian Broner, I want to see you, bitch, run me my fade, or whatever he was saying when he was jogging. I wanted to see that fight back then. I think that's a magnificent fight. I think that they can have that fight in Ohio. I think they can have that fight in New Orleans. I'm gonna be in the building regardless. And I think that like I want to see that fight. Now, as far as who wins that fight, come on, Fanon. Come on, bro. I know you don't want me to just give my pick. That's not even.
Why not?
What, like, do you have to, like, why is a pig pussy still pork? Like, why do you have to ask me?
I don't fuck with pigs' pussies. I don't even think about that shit.
You Kappa niggas fuck with pigs' pussy. You Kappa.
No.
You crossover rolls the SG rolls.
Go ahead though.
Okay. Yeah. I'm rocking with Adrian Broner, man. There's no question. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm Ohio to the end of me. So Adrian Broner, I feel will win that fight. I think that Adrian Broner is just, for me, man, where he's at in his career, and I'm done. Where he's at in his career, he has to make an example out of somebody. You understand what I'm saying? There is one person that he just has to make an example of. You got motherfuckers out here calling him out, talking stupid people, talking about he don't throw his hands, he don't do this, he don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? He has to go out there and he has to make an example out of somebody. He got to go out there and he got to beat the shit out of somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Then he got to do some wild shit like motherfucking take his gloves off and then go start eating a turnbuckle like George the Animal Steel. Like, he got to just go fucking bananas and make an example and put a cold demonstration down on somebody. And I think that all of the ingredients are just right with this fight, man. Adrian Broner is gonna come out. He's gonna go all out. It's something about, you know, when brothers get together and they rumble. You understand what I'm saying? All the shit talking, the build up, so on and so forth, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be epic, man. So I think that this is gonna be like the Adrian Broner versus Emmanuel Taylor, but it's gonna be like on steroids. And I need this fight, and I need it next.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I go to Cali Enigma. Oh, let me get these super chats real quick. Jupiter B said it's reverse. Hearn would be nothing without AJ. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say nothing because they already had something, but you know, AJ was an Olympic gold medalist from the UK. He was going to go to Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn. It's not like there was too many places he would have wound up. You know what I mean? But they were definitely fortunate that Anthony Joshua came around at all. They definitely lucked out with that. To have a heavyweight, a guy, you know, like Anthony Joshua to win an Olympic gold medal in London, you know, and damn, where did it go? Bam Bam Tweed said, "Keep my frat out your mouth, out this yo-yo." Yeah, you know, come on. Then you know, the only time don't be making jokes about what Cap is, you know, what kind of pussy Cap is focused on. Okay. Y'all just make sure you keep that, you know. Because and make sure I get this. Eddie's arrogance was his own demise. Absolutely. So yeah, what's your take on that Cali Enigma as far as Adrian Broner versus Regis Prograis?
I think it's a great fight. I know the first one out of that group, I know Josh Taylor wanted to call him out at one point too, but I think it's an easier fight to make Regis Prograis and Adrian Broner. I hope we get a chance to see it. It seems like there's always some type of politics to get in the way, but one person I do know who would accept any of these fights and all of these fights is Adrian Broner. If you really call him out and you really want smoke, he gonna accept. So it's just a matter of now is the bread gonna be right? Because AB for it, he game, but you can't. But you got to pay the dude, man. I mean, you got to pay the dude. And it's between Prograis and Broner. Broner is the far bigger name, so you gonna have to pay the dude, man. Because Broner's gonna be bringing all of the fans to the fight. Unfortunately, Prograis doesn't really have a huge fan base, but Broner does. So Broner's gonna be the main one selling this fight. So it's important for AB to be paid and AB to be compensated in the correct way. Because it shouldn't be. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but the splits probably should be wide as far as this fight is concerned. AB is a far bigger name, far bigger draw, probably 65-35, which is probably still very, very friendly as far as the splits. But as far as the fight, I would like to see the fight. Who do I think would win? I would have to go with Prograis because Prograis he lets his hands go. I'd have to see AB let his hands go. I would have to see it, but I haven't seen it in a while. So as far as the fight goes, if I had to pick, I would pick Regis Prograis to win by decision over Adrian Broner, just because Adrian Broner just takes rounds off or he's just too inactive at times. When he does decide to get active, he's actually very effective. When he decides to walk an opponent down and let his hands go, he's very effective. So it's just a matter of at times during the fight, he will let his hands go. And everybody will, oh man, look at AB, he's starting to show himself. And then he'll take the next 2 rounds off. It's a very frustrating guy. Yeah, I would love to see him let his hands go for 12 rounds. If he did that, he would win some of these fights. He would have beat Jesse Vargas if he wouldn't have taken the last 2 rounds off. I don't know why he did, but he did. So as far as AB goes, I think he's the draw. He's the main guy in this fight. He deserves the A-side money. But as far as who I think would win the fight, I think Regis Prograis would win the fight due to the fact that he lets his hands go. And AB just tends to just fold up into a shell far too much. And I don't understand why he does that, but that's just who he is. I don't see that changing. He's been that way for pretty much like a zillion fights now, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. Hopefully we do get this fight because I know AB would take it. I think Prograis would take it too. It's a good payday for both guys. Let's see it.
Okay. So Adrian Broner versus Regis Prograis. Let's move this over to blood boxing. Blood boxing. Then we'll go to BFTB.
Okay, well, y'all did skip me on the last question too.
I wanted to hear him.
That's because you niggas be cutting me off and fucking up my order. You niggas be jumping in. So, Blood, take both questions.
Okay.
Or pick
first
one.
of all, I think
one so that you don't have to cut your time short. Handle it.
Okay. Well, it's not going to take me long, anyways, with the Eddie Hearn question. I think that Eddie Hearn, he did not do very well over here because he came in here using the wrong type of terminology. He was talking about transatlantic deals. He didn't really know how to interact with the American fight fans. And he underestimated the black dollar, too. He just didn't come with the right formula. Now, I do believe that Anthony Joshua would have been better off with a promoter like Warren, because Eddie Hearn is a barrier builder. If Tyson Fury was under the Matchroom promotional banner, all that stuff with WWE and all them extra promotions, that would not have happened as easily because Eddie Hearn wants to always be the star. He always wants to be the center of attention. And they might not have been able to close deals with Vince McMahon and things that would help promote Tyson Fury. So he took the right route by going with Frank Warren and eventually linking up with Bob Arum. Eddie Hearn, he has like this, he really does have a slave owner's mentality. I try to stay away from it, but even his father, Barry Hearn, admitted that they take a slave owner's approach, if you guys don't forget. So he just went about it the wrong way. But Eddie Hearn has yet, the jury's still out on him, okay, because he's a young promoter. That's the thing about being a promoter. All right, when you're a fighter, your time frame is very small. That's why I hate to see promoters live off these fighters' names, and then when they're done with these fighters, like what Goosen and all these other promoters did, when they're done with the fighter, they just throw the fighter away. Eddie Hearn is very young. We could be seeing Eddie Hearn for the next 3 fucking decades. You know what I'm saying? If boxing continues to go by the same, blueprint that it's always went by, or structure. Structure is the word I'm looking for. If we go by that same structure that we're always known to go by, Eddie Hearn's around for the next 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Look how old Bob Arum is. Shit, you put him to Bob Arum's age, he's around for the next 50 fucking years. Okay, but he's gonna have to change some things up. He's gonna have to understand the American fight fan demographic a little bit better to be successful over here. And don't come over here blowing a bunch of smoke. You have to back up some of these fights. You have to make these fights happen, like what Bob Arum and what Don King did before him. Now, as for Adrian Broner versus Regis Prograis, listen, Prograis, they're around the same age, man. But Prograis has been the more active fighter. But shit, come October, it's been a whole year since he's been in the ring. So by the time he gets back in the ring again, it's been a year since even he's been in the ring. That's the problem with all of these fighters, is that they're way too inactive. Now, I would favor the southpaw Prograis to win the fight. I do think that because Prograis has such quick reflexes and such, and he lets his hands go, and he has decent footwork. He's an athletic fighter, and so is Broner. But Broner doesn't let his hands go as much. He's still fighting out of that. The last time he had a fight, he was still trying to use that crab, that Floyd style fighting that he's just not good at. He's trying to fight like an old Floyd Mayweather, and he ended up getting outpointed by the old man, Manny Pacquiao, who's put a couple of these youngsters in their place. He gave Keith Thurman a fresh fade too. But I would favor Prograis to win the fight. Adrian Broner, he doesn't have it together mentally either. Prograis is a more mentally equipped fighter. He's stronger mentally. So he's going to bring more to the table. He's more active. He's got the athleticism to match Adrian Broner. The only thing Adrian Broner brings is the trash talk. And, he brings he does bring something to the table in every fight he's involved with. It's an exciting fight. So, but I would favor Prograis. Also, I wanted to say one more thing before I wrap this up with what Georgia Peach was saying. Okay, she was asking if Keith Thurman still has it. That's hard to determine, Georgia Peach, if Keith Thurman still has it, because he's only fought 4 times since 2015. 4 times. Okay, these guys are getting older. These guys are going in from their 20s into their 30s with inactive. We don't know where these guys are at when they're only fighting 4 times in 5 years. It's hard to tell how much father time has affected these fighters. So who knows how long it is before they get in the ring again. So it's really hard to determine in this day and age where these fighters are at. Okay, and that's all I have to say. I answered 3 of them right there.
Hey, but let me ask you a question real quick. What do you think about Adrian Broner? And I want to ask Junior the truth, the same question. Well, everybody on the panel.
Hold on, Callie.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got a list of questions we're going through, man, and I still get, and I don't even know if everybody got to the question.
It was a quick question, but go ahead.
BFTB, what's your take on Adrian Broner, man? Adrian Broner, Regis Prograis.
So I talked about this. I think I'm leaning towards AB on this one. I'm leaning towards AB because everything that my godfather said is 100% correct. But in this scenario, Regis doesn't let his hands go as much as everybody else anyway. Regis doesn't let his hands go as much as all the other fighters that AB has fought. Like the old man the old man Pac and all them other they throw punches. They throw a lot of punches. Regis is a pop shotter too. Like Regis, that I think that's one of the reasons why he lost to Josh Taylor, because he didn't let his hands go more. He didn't let his hand go more. He was looking for the counters and the pop shots. He was letting his hands go, but not as much as he could have. Bro, you can't do that with Adrian Broner, man. You play right into this man's hands, directly into them. He is a defensive fighter that wants to counter you. Just think about it, and I'm gonna be quick. Just everybody that beat that man has put massive pressure and threw a lot of punches. No one that tried to pop shot him beat him. Regis is a pop shot. He's a pot shotter. You know, he throws a little bit more punches, but he's a pot shotter. You cannot pot shot Adrian Broner because his defense is better than yours. That's the starter, and his counters are sharper, and he hits harder. I don't think that's a good fight. I think it's a great fight for us. I don't think it's a good fight for Regis, in my opinion. I think AB beats him, bro. And now everybody knows we say the same exact shit all the time. AB don't let his hands go, blah, blah, blah. We say the same shit, yada, yada, yada. But I'm telling y'all, bro, go watch Regis's fights, bro. Regis is he does the same exact things that AB does without all the extra defense. He doesn't let his hands go as much. And I'm telling y'all, bro, I'm telling you, if he does not let his hands go more against Adrian Broner, if he doesn't change what he does, he's not. I don't believe he's gonna win that fight. I got AB when they fight that. I got AB on that.
Whoa! So how many we got? 1, 2. Blood. You got who? Did you get, Blood? Who'd you pick?
I had Pro Grace winning that fight. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So it's a 2, and Drew. I know Callie had Pro grade. Drew, you had Pro grade?
No, I'm always torn because AB has all the talent in the world. I don't see anybody knocking him out. The guy has a great chin, although he's been dropped, but the guy's tough as nails. BFTB is right. Pro grade, he's a creature of habit. But I'm wondering, looking back at his opponents, has his opponents ever made Pro grade? Have they ever given him any reason to make change or adjustments in the ring? That's always the question. Does AB have the tools to make Pro grade do something that he's not used to doing? And I think AB, I have all the faith in the world. He has the talent to do that. But is he going to do that? Is he going to do that? Every fight that AB lost, he could have won. Every fight he lost, he could have won. The Manny Pacquiao fight, he could have won. In fact, I went back and watched that fight a few times. It was a lot closer than people want to say. People like saying, "Oh, he got fucked up." No. Go back and watch that fight. It was a lot closer. All right. Even with Keith Thurman. Keith ain't. I mean, don't get fooled by the still shots of him getting his head rocked back. He was in that fight, man. He got hurt real bad, but he was in that fight. But with AB, does he have the tools to give Pro grade a different look, make him change what he does normally? If he does, AB could win that fight. But I'm torn 50-50, man. I'm torn only because history tells me that AB a lot of times doesn't do what he needs to do to win fights. But stylistically, we know what AB is capable of, and we know what, off the eye test, we can see what would give Pro grade some issues. So if I was to pick somebody, I really couldn't, man. I'm torn 50-50. I'm just torn.
So can't pick one, man. Wow. All right. Yes, I think, man, actually, you know what? I realized that I didn't give my thoughts on a couple things. I can't go through everything, but as far as AB goes, I mean, I think it's a good fight. I would say it's I think maybe 51-49 because of Regis Pro grade, but I think in favor of Regis Pro grade. But I think Regis Pro grade, like I think BFTB alluded to it. I think he's got some of the same things going on that AB does. For AB has a longer reach. I think he has a reach advantage over Regis Pro grade, and Regis Pro grade does come in with his hands kind of down. He does, and he'll walk into and he'll take a lot of shots. And if he's gonna be there and be able to be jabbed, and hit with jabs and straight right hands, then I mean, it's not like Adrian Bronner is going to not let his hands go when you're up there and you got a clear shot for him. So I definitely think Adrian Bronner has a chance to win the fight. I don't think that he's necessarily outsized by Regis, but the dog in Regis Prograis is what scares me for. But even him being a dog works into the strength of not the strength. It's not that big of a disadvantage because so is Adrian Bronner. You know what I mean? As long as Regis Prograis is not just like throwing volumes and volumes of punches, which is going to lead to a decision on the cards, then I think Adrian Bronner's got a really good chance to win because Regis Prograis is not trying to outscore. He's not really trying to outpoint you. He's trying to beat you up and get you out of there. But I think that to see the fight, I think that would be a really good fight because I think both of them are considered more rightfully for Adrian Bronner than for Regis Prograis, considered probably to be just outside the top tier of the 140-pound division because of all the belts being between Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. As far as Eddie Hearn goes, Eddie Hearn, he's just had a very difficult job to do. I mean, as far as the specific thing that Drew talked about, I think it's something that's very difficult to accomplish. So, I mean, I think he gave and did about as good a job as he could have done. I don't know if, other than, doing an exceptional job, right? Where he had enough sense to partner with Al Heyman and try to get the product that ultimately ended up at Fox. If he would have tried to get that product from Al Heyman to the Zone, I think that he would have definitely got more subscriptions in the United States because he could have taken it as like a regional approach, right? But because he wanted to be the guy that controlled it, right? If he would have initially went in with his idea of doing co-promotional deals or doing so where what he wound up doing with Canelo or at least the Zone wound up doing with Canelo is that's kind of like a co-promotional deal because most of the fights that are being made by the Golden Boy fights, or a lot of them, are made with Matchroom Fighters. So he's getting a cut of the pie from all of that stuff. But I think that there would have been bigger pies if he would have partnered with really had a good relationship with Al Heyman, where they were because Fox wound up buying into that. As far as Keith Thurman, I don't think Keith Thurman's done. I think Keith Thurman is an excellent fighter. I just think that I'm going to trust that he's telling the truth, that he was injured. And if you're injured and you got to come through your injury, it's just what it is. You got to come through your injury. And if you have to fight, or if you don't want to get to the point where you go not fighting 3-4 years till everything heals up, that's part of the aging process. He might be able to adjust. I just think he needs to, before I'd say that he's all the way done, I think I need to see more activity out of him. If I see him fight 2 times in a year, he fights 2 times a year for 2 straight years, and he goes 2-2 against top people, then I'd be like, all right. But right now, he just had 3 years off, had a tune-up, and then had a close fight with Manny Pacquiao. So I don't think that he's done, man. But let's go. Let me get a couple of these super chats. Terrence Bailey said, defense and counterpunching will win the fight for AB, Salute Fanon, and the crew, and Drew Titan. Yeah, man, Drew Titan's the dude, man. And D-Style Boxing says, Prograis win easy. Yeah, man, make it more suspenseful, Make it more suspenseful, D-Style. Make it more suspenseful. But yeah, for sure. I can understand why people would say Regis Prograis could win that fight easily. But, I haven't winning it, but just, not as not by some out there type of, I don't think it's a complete blowout. Anthony, nobody blows out AB. Nobody blows him out. Shit. He's fucking the luck of the draw, dog. It's about time for him to pop. He's a world-class fighter. Callie, you said you wanted to ask about 15 different questions. What's the first one that you wanted to ask?
Shit. Man, okay, there we go. So it works. Now, the question I wanted to ask everybody don't you think that AB will be better as a pressure fighter instead of a counterpuncher just by his stance alone? And, sometimes, most of the time, a lot of times having that wide base, don't you think that he would be better as a pressure fighter? Just my opinion. That's my question to everybody on the panel.
As a matter of brevity, let's point that at one person and have them give you your thought on it. And Junior the Truth said he would like to be. No, start in with Junior the Truth too. So start and end with Junior. Okay.
Yeah,
everybody that question.
If you remember, man, and thanks Fanon for taking this question, really truly appreciate it. And thanks, Kylie Ning, but that's an excellent question, my brother. If you remember, Adrian Broner used to be a pressure fighter. If you remember, early on, he was a pressure fighter. He was coming up. He was getting your ass up out of there. And subsequently he was undefeated, so on and so forth. I think he would be. I think what he kind of went to was kind of being more defensive oriented when he started really truly trying to mimic Mayweather and incorporating that bullshit into his arsenal. And so on and so forth. And it kind of has become habitual for him. I think that in times he steps on the gas, with the pressure. I think he would be a better fighter though. I mean, at the end of the day, we've seen him drop Sean Porter. That's not average everyday shit. You know what I'm saying? I've only seen Sean Porter drop by Errol Spence, the great, and Adrian Broner. So I think he will be better as a fighter, but I think at this juncture, we're going to get what we're going to get with him. I think that there's just something else that has to come from him with regard to this fight versus Regis Prograis, which is, to put it bluntly, he's not going to go out there and get his ass whooped by a brother. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he is going to really, truly gets up. AB is one of those fighters that gets up on the bullshit. That's why he always brings bullshit to the table, which is, was a horrible thing in the Manny Pacquiao fight, because Manny Pacquiao's not going to talk shit. He's not bringing bullshit to the table. They couldn't even face off without laughing and smiling. So, at the end of the day, I think he will be better as a pressure fighter. But at this juncture, we're going to see what we're going to get what we're going to get. And I think that he will have more pressure he will put on more pressure and be more offensively geared versus in his fight versus Regis Prograis. Thanks, bro.
Wait, brothers, real quick. I'm sorry, I gotta duck out of here a little early. Something just came up. I gotta duck out of here. Good looks. Yo, love all of y'all. Shout out to the LDBC. I'll be on later on tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. LDBC strong. Fanon, thank you for having me on, brother. I gotta run. Something just came up.
All right, man. That's what's up, man. Get back with you, man.
Yes,
hey, BFTB. So we're gonna go around, man, and say what's on people's mind. BFTB, is there anything that you're gonna get off your chest, or a show, or a topic that you want to talk about? We don't have to get off quick, but we're gonna do that one for everybody.
Yeah, nah, man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I just I did want to give special love and shout outs to my brothers. Like, I did want to give a special touch. A special shout out to my brother Blood, the Godfather Blood, bro. The Godfather been going in hard for me lately, and a special shout out to D Style as well, and everybody else, bro. All I've ever wanted to do is talk boxing. It's still all I want to do. People know they can't fuck with me. They know they can't, so they try to do anything else. But keep trying, bro. You're just promoting me. You're just promoting me more. I'm not nowhere. I'm still right here. I will be live again tomorrow, and my show will continue, and I will continue bodying, doing exactly what I do. Has nothing changed, nothing at all. My Patreon is almost finished. So anything that y'all, if y'all want to see that video that I did the other day, it'll be on my Patreon. It will not be up. I'm done with the topic. It's back to boxing. And if you want to see it, go subscribe to my Patreon when it's up, and then you can watch it all you want. That's all I got.
All right. What about yourself, Callie? Any other one more question?
No, I just want to. That's basically it. That was the main question I wanted to get out, man. But yeah, shout out to D Style as well. D Style is my brother right there, man. Appreciate the brother, man. All of you guys, I'm talking about everybody in the LWC, go check out D Style, man. Dude puts out a lot of really good content, man. But yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate everybody on the panel as well. Fanon, Junior the Truth, BFTB. They love you, BFTB. That's why they keep fucking with you like that. They're attracted to you. So that's why they continue to make videos and live streams about you. They're attracted to you.
All right, man. Blood boxing.
Hey man, yeah man, it's been another great show, man. Talking with you guys. I'm up here trying to cook lunch right now and shit like that. But you know, man, the BFTB, man, we stand behind you, and I'm glad that you just said that you're moving on from the subject, because we all do need to move on anyway, and we just need to go back to talking this boxing shit. And I'll tell you one thing about boxing. The problem with boxing is that these guys are not fighting each other. They're inactive. They were inactive before all of this stuff happened with the COVID-19. And unfortunately, sometimes when we have these discussions about the style, such as a Regis Prograis versus Adrian Broner, you almost have to think back really hard on these guys' styles, because I've never really watched any of these guys' fights multiple times. Usually I'll watch them one time, and then that's it, because there is no classics. Adrian Broner versus Manny Pacquiao, to me, good fight, but it wasn't a classic. It's not a fight that I'll ever revisit unless I was doing a documentary or something like that. So these guys got to get in there, and they got to provide for fight fans fights that would help fight fans remember what they even fight like. Because yeah, you're right, Regis Prograis does pot shots sometimes. In some of his earlier fights, he let his hands go a lot. But these guys just have to get a little bit more active. The once a year and all of that, and people not going back and revisiting their fights and doing film study. They're not even providing any content for us to do film study and things like that. And we can only talk about the politics for so long. And usually what we're talking about these days are barriers that because of these barriers, the fights are not happening. And the fans participate sometimes in the barriers a little bit too much, and they contribute to the barriers. They build on to the barriers with their arguments instead of wanting these fighters to just get in the ring and fight each other. There's way too many champions. The last time I counted these title holders, there was 81 of them or something like that, okay? And there's the potential for over 100 of them. And there's probably over 100 guys right now calling themselves a boxing world champion when you put in smaller sanctioning bodies such as the IBO and the WWF or something, all this other shit that they have, okay? So we just have to get back to boxing. We have to put the pressure on these fighters, these top fighters, to fight each other. There should be some kind of unification in every division, and the fans should not expect anything less, okay? For instance, in the welterweight division, Keith Thurman is only ranked in the top 10 in the WBC. He's not even ranked in the WBA. No, he's ranked number 11 in the WBA from the last I looked, and I looked at it earlier, and he's not even ranked in the other two sanctioning bodies. And it's really confusing because you'll say he's a top welterweight, yet the sanctioning bodies are not picking this up because they don't have legit ranking systems. All right, so according to the WBO and the IBF, Keith Thurman isn't even a top 10. And not only that, the WBA, he's not even a top 10 welterweight. So it's, you know, it's just all over the place. And we got to get back to putting the pressure on these guys and the fighters too to make the fights happen. All right. So that's all I got to say. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out.
All right, man. Thanks, Blood. To do my man, Junior the Truth. Let them know about your products, man, how to buy your stuff. Let them know about you. And is there anything you want to get off your chest before we roll up at?
Yeah, man, you can catch me weekdays 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Punch Junkie Morning Show. It's available now via my mobile app. I've taken it off YouTube. It's available via my mobile app, so you can download the Junior the Truth mobile app. And then also what was I going to say? Oh, you can check us out over at the Black Gentleman Grooming Company, man. We do have all natural, handcrafted products geared specifically towards Black gentlemen and now the Black queens. We do have our women's line of products available now, so go check it out. Fanon, you talk shit to me about lip balm. My daughter has her lip balm line available there, so you can go get you some lip balm, whatever. But it's there. It's called JC's lip balm. It's flying off the shelves too. But anyway, go get you some lip balm, man. But you can check us out www.theblackgent.com. That's www.theblackgent.com. And that is to the Black Gentleman Grooming Company. We also have a mobile app that we just launched, so you can download the Black for our customers who are trying to maximize your mobile experience. You can get the mobile app, the Black Gentleman Grooming Company mobile app. So it's a mobile app. It's excellent. So download the mobile app for those who are going to be repeat buyers. You know what I mean? As far as for me, Fanon, thank you so much, man, for having me on the show. Apologies for being late, man. I was, I'll be hustling and grinding on Sunday mornings. And I know what it's like because I don't even allow, students in my class after a certain point. You got about 15 minutes. If you ain't in my class in 15 minutes, man, it's over with. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that as an educator, I understand that this trickling in makes you crazy. So I apologize for that and I'll do better. For me, it's just with regard to this thing that's going on within the LDBC, I don't do a lot of talking about it because for me, it's goofy as hell. We're just, at this juncture, I like to think that people are adults and not just adults, but, I think that we are should be adults of an exacting standard. And ultimately, when it's all said and done, I just see a lot of shit that you people mimic messy women. It's like messy, immature women. Like this shit is the shit that my daughter, I have a 17-year-old daughter. This shit is the shit that she has to deal with regard to social media and who likes who and who doesn't like you and who's looking at your social media and who's reporting and talking and all that bullshit. That's like young goofy shit. And it's a lot of men who go back and forth and do that in between shit. And I view you as bitches and I don't talk a whole lot about it or whatever the case may be, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's too much shit that you should be doing. You should be getting money. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have time to sit down and talk about this shit and worry about who I don't like, who likes me and all that kind of shit, because I'm trying to get to this bag. I'm trying to create generational wealth for my family. You understand what I'm saying? And anybody who's focused on that type of shit is not creating generational wealth for your family. You understand what I'm saying? That shit is goofy as fuck. So I don't do a whole bunch of addressing it, and I don't do a whole bunch of going back and forth with niggas, especially broke ones. You understand what I'm saying? And ultimately, I'm not cut out that mode to be going back and forth with niggas. I travel the earth, so I'm subject to pop up in your city. So I don't really get all off into that shit. You know what I'm saying? I just, I just leave it alone. I understand it's just a whole bunch of internet talk. I used the example when I was in Georgia, when I went to the Tank Davis fight, I saw some people that I know for a fact were internet trolls. And I was draped in my Junior the Truth shit and they said nothing. They purchased their drinks and they kept moving and they kept looking at me like they saw a ghost. And yes, I will pop up in your city like a State Farm agent, period. And at the end of the day, that shit is just going to be what it's going to be, man. I done gave and took ass whooping. So all that tough guy internet shit don't mean nothing to me. But I tell you this, I don't care nothing about it getting out of hand. And so at the end of the day, I don't really address all that shit because it's all stupid. So at the end of the day, you should be doing something to put your family in a better position. And if you're spending time trying to dig up information on my brothers and my sisters, then that's taking away time that you should be feeding your family. You understand what I'm saying? And you wonder why your woman looks at you the way that she looks at you is because you're spending time on bitch shit and you are acting like bitches. You understand what I'm saying? Women want to be with men. And so like, at the end of the day, I don't spend a whole bunch of time on all that shit because I'm too busy trying to generate generational wealth. You understand what I'm saying? I want my woman and I have to work for nobody. I want my kids and I have to. But anyway, so at the end of the day, this is my plea to everybody. If you are one of those people who you're addicted to reality TV and you have a need for drama in your life, go do something else, but just stay away from the brothers and sisters in the LDBC. If you want to go and get the content from people who are, on the bitch shit, then go do that. You understand what I'm saying? But stop teetering back and forth. Like you guys know who you are. I'm looking at a lot of y'all in here. And I'm trying my best because I don't believe in trying to embarrass people and I don't want to create no hit list and do all that bullshit or whatever the case may be. But if you are one of those people who teeter back and forth and you're in the chat rooms with people who are, doing all the smear campaign and all that, just remove yourself from the community, man. It's just that easy. Let's be adults about the situation. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't have time to address it. Fanon doesn't have time to address it. You understand what I'm saying? Like BFT, people don't have time to address the shit. On top of all that, we're in the middle of a pandemic and these crackers are trying to kill all of us. You understand what I'm saying? So nobody has time to address that shit. My brother Fanon, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, family.
It's all good, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, in conclusion, dude, just as far as all that stuff goes, man, the people in the community, as we started this book in this we started the conversation talking about, what brought people into the LDBC. I thought that would be a good point to start with, because could bring it around to what we talk about at the end, which is that the only thing that really matters is our community. And you'll know whether people are in the community based on what they do in the community. If they talking about bullshit, then there's a reason that they're bringing you bullshit, right? Just that's the quality of the information. Judge people by the quality of the information that they bring you. If somebody's bringing you some trifling shit about somebody's personal business, then that's the type of business that they traffic in. They traffic in gossip. They traffic in hurtful shit, right? They traffic in embarrassment and humiliation. And if those are the type of people, if those are the type of things that they enjoy sharing with you, you have to judge whether or not you're the type of person that wants to receive that. You know what I mean? So there's no need to have people come around with what the truth is, and because there's so much shit out there in the world, and so many people willing to lie, combined with the fact that people are human and they do things that that you can have shit that just goes fucked up in your life for whatever reason. Like I said, people go to prison for things that they did do when they're 18 years old, and they decide, now they're 55. You know what I mean? Those things happen in your life, but you're here to talk about boxing. You know what I mean? If the discussion has something to do with boxing, then there's some value that the person might be bringing to you, right? What does this have? Okay, so Tyson Fury did or he did not cheat, right? Did he cheat? Did he not cheat? Well, how do you decide whether he cheated? And if he cheats, what should happen if he cheated? All that's boxing related, right? And now some people might say that's some boxing related content that I don't care about. I want to talk about the fights, or I want to talk about great champions of the past, or I want to talk about, whatever this related to boxing. But, you're in the community if you're talking about boxing. When you start talking about shit that is not that, other than you having to defend yourself. And then the other thing is understand that there's a lot of people that watch us. So they're going to take the easiest shots that they can. The easiest shot with a black man is to call him a sexual predator. That's play number one. That's how it's always been. They justified Jim Crow and the KKK and all that stuff off black men being sexual degenerates that run around raping people. I mean, ain't nobody the first person, how many people have been accused of that shit? How many people are coming out of jails for being, wrongfully accused of things? That we exist in the world. Boxing, we exist in the world. And these type of people, but again, it's the combination of things that people who are just pretty much, that's what I refer to as scumbags, because that's what they do. They deal in scum. They deal in the lowest, they deal in, humiliation and embarrassment and lies. And, even if they ain't lying, they trying to humiliate you. But most times people that are trying to humiliate you will lie to you too, because that's some shit you're trying to do. I mean, so if you're part of the community, at the end of the day, if you're part of the community, you know that that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about boxing. And how does this information help me understand the world of boxing better than I did without it? Somebody telling you that, Cali Enigma was out fucking a 6'8" redhead dime piece model from Vogue. Although I would love to wish that upon Cali, got fuck all to do with whether or not Adrian Bronner is going to beat Regis Prograis or not. You know what I mean? The good and the bad. This is a bunch of dumb shit. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. And I appreciate you guys showing support for us on a daily basis, because that's what matters. Did you guys watch the video? Did you guys hit the like? Even though y'all didn't hit the like today, that's all right. We'll take it. We'll be back to hit the likes tomorrow. But anyway, thank you guys so much for all your support. Definitely subscribe to my man June of the Truth, BFTB, Cali Enigma, Blood Boxing on, what's your two channels again, Blood? Because you got two channels. Which channel you focused on most?
I have 2 channels. I have Retro Boxing and Documentaries, which YouTube has been unfair to me over there at that channel. And then I have Retro Sports and Documentaries, which those channels really, I'm going to work from both channels. Okay. So I got documentaries coming out on both channels. The good thing about my old channel is now that they've taken away my monetization, I can put anything I want. I'm going to put fights up and all kind of stuff. So, you know, subscribe to both of them. And believe me, I'm just getting started. I've been taking a little bit of a break, but I'm getting ready to start getting back to this Jack Johnson and the color line and all that kind of shit. I'm going to start. You'll see those videos start to come back in rotation this week.
That's what's up. But all right, man. So we'll catch y'all later next week, man. And with that, we out. Peace.